Hi, everybody. Roger Smith here at Hall Stadium. It's Thursday night football. Clements against Elkins, getting a late start, all kinds of things. I'm not going to bore you with the details. We're going to step aside, take a break real quick, and be back. This is VypeFortBend.com, your broadcast home for Fort Bend County sports. We'll be right back.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
We're the ELKINS cheerleaders, and real knights fight their battles here, not at the Renaissance Festival. You're listening to Knights Football on VypeFortBend.com. More on the countdown to the kickoff show is coming up. Go Knights! Woo!
We see all you do to get work done, whether it's keeping your office clean or redesigning your space for 3 or 300. Our business is to keep business going. Buy online and pick up in store, or get free next business day shipping at Office Depot, OfficeMax, and OfficeDepot.com.
Good Thursday evening to you. This is the Countdown to Kickoff show. Elkins Knights and the Clements Rangers from Hall Stadium on what looks like it's going to be a perfect night. And it's time to talk with Dennis Brantley, head coach of the Elkins Knights, who's had a lot of success in his time at Elkins. This has been a rough year so far, and I have to say, I just want to say as a friend, I mean, we graduated high school the same year. I know a few things about you. I've been feeling for you because I can kind of see your frustration. Right. So is there something that has kind of maybe helped you feel encouraged this week going into the game with the Rangers?
Yeah, I thought last week we finally played. You know, of course, we didn't put the ball in the end zone enough, but we played hard, and we didn't make a whole lot of mistakes. We just didn't execute. So I was very encouraged about that.
I know that going into this game, you know, you're very happy with Isaiah Smith going into his junior year, and I'm sure you are. I'm sure you want to make sure that his confidence doesn't kind of take a step backward because he was so confident at the end of last season. Yeah. What are some of the things that maybe you've helped him? What are some of the things you've said to help him?
Well, the biggest thing is I make sure that, when he make mistakes, I don't holler at him, and fuss at him. I tell him you got to do better, and I encourage him at all time because at the quarterback position is once you lose that confidence, it's over. You can't get it back. So I think that he's just pressing too hard for the season because of the situation we have. But I told him just play, and whatever happens, happen. He has the ability. He just got to put it together.
One thing that is true of football history at all levels, there's sometimes coaches will do a little something, I don't know, to loosen their players up, maybe to surprise them in some way. I don't know if you buy into that kind of thing or how funny you are at parties and stuff like that, but is there anything that you might have done to just kind of lighten the mood, loosen them up?
Oh, yeah, this week was very important for us, lighten the mood. I know one day we just, at the end of practice, we shot free throws, and so we get the most free throws, kind of loosen up a little bit, and then today we watched a lot of highlight videos of various sports, just lighten the mood just a little bit.
Well, there's one other thing I want to say. I can't really say it often enough. A player that I have just been watching his whole career, he's a senior, and despite the fact that the team has not been able to succeed like he had hoped, old number 90 is a constant. What can you say about him?
He's having a great year, in spite of our record. He's having a great year, and I told him, hey, that's what leaders do. You just got to play your heart out, and hopefully the other guys will follow. And that's what he's doing, and I'm very proud of him.
And I remember an old, I guess it's okay maybe to talk about Bill Cosby comedy routines, but he said he was playing ball in college, and there was this team they played called Hofstra that was really tough to run against. They said they had a guy who would grab the whole backfield and throw guys out until he found the guy with the ball, and that's 90.
That's him right there, and I hope that this game right here is better than last week because he had a great game last week.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
We're the Clements cheerleaders, and the Rangers have the horses to beat the Knights. Coach Darnell is next on the Countdown to Kickoff show. You're listening to VypeFortBend.com.
What is Vype Live? Vype Live is one of the largest and most respected broadcast and live stream networks in the state of Texas. Vype Live broadcasts any sport you can think of for youngsters of any age, from Pee Wee and Pop Warner to high school, club, college, semi-pro, and beyond. We also broadcast plenty of academic, fine arts, and community-related events as well, and now as partners with Flow Sports. Email us at info@vypemedia.com to find out more. Vype Live. We bring your teams to you.
Welcome back to the Countdown to Kickoff show, and we're ready to talk to Bobby Darnell, head coach of the Clements Rangers, whose team is doing very well thus far. Only one district loss, and tonight you're taking on the ELKINS Knights. I know that coaches are always properly cautious of a dangerous team that has nothing to lose. What have you seen from ELKINS that can cause some concern for you?
Oh, they're ELKINS, and they're an ELKINS team that's always well coached. Roger, we don't look at records. We don't look at records at all. We look at the team week by week. What their record is not the definition of them. So, hopefully we haven't been defined by records, and we're definitely not going to define anybody by that. So they're a great team with talented players, known for having talented players, known for having NFL caliber players. Every former player that I've talked to loves and respects the heck out of Coach Brantley, and he does a great job over there.
Okay. I should realize by now that I shouldn't ask a question that is based on the premise of a team's record. I'm going to think of different questions for you in the future, because this is not the first time that I've brought up records and you said, that doesn't matter. So let's go in another direction. Your team has really been producing offensively. It seems like every cog in the machine that you have wanted to be productive has been productive. Are there some others that maybe you didn't expect who are giving you some catches and some good runs and some big blocks and some scores?
I think there are. We don't necessarily want to talk about them just yet. We'd rather see what they can do tonight. But there's definitely some running backs that are returning or healthy enough that we might want to give them a couple more carries, and a few more receivers that have worked so hard in practice making plays that they deserve to get some love too.
Well, I know that's important to players because a lot of players practice and not all of them get a lot of game time, but I know there's going to be some smiles on some faces when they get that opportunity.
You hope so. I mean, that's why you practice. You practice hard, expecting that you're going to get that opportunity. We talked a lot about trust and ability versus dependability, which was one of our 2 words this week. So we want guys to be trustworthy, and we want us to have confidence in them, and you earn that in practice.
And finally, one more question. I'm always a little curious about a day that has a game at night where the day was not an ordinary school day. Is there anything that you made sure your players did when they were not really in your care during the day, just to make sure that they were ready when they came to the stadium?
We always treat it like a Saturday game. So Saturday games, we always wake them up early. We have a report date early in the morning so that they're up, do our helmet check and our uniforms at that time, watch a little bit more film, and then they can go off and then report in a few hours after that. So, they'll sleep in, obviously, but we don't want them sleeping in until 11 or 12.
I know what you mean.
All right. These teenagers are the worst.
Yeah, I don't think I slept until 11 since I was a teenager. Maybe a couple of times in college. Man, that was a long time ago. Anyway.
You and me both.
All right, thank you, Bobby Darnell. Always a pleasure. Good luck tonight against the Knights. Okay, we got instant football game, and the Clements Rangers receive the opening kickoff, and they run it straight up the middle. And I'm sorry that we were not able to run every single word of the Countdown to Kickoff show. The best laid plans, you know how that kind of goes sometimes. We just were not able to get our laptop to reach out and grab the Wi-Fi, if you know what I mean. On the first play, the Clements Rangers ran it straight ahead and only got 2 yards. So it's 2nd down and 8. Knights jump, and it is Micah Darnell throwing a pick, and that ball is dropped. It's an incomplete pass, not an interception at the far sideline. But you know what? I think that Elkins was going to get flagged for offsides anyway. It sure looked like they were offsides. But you know what? I'm looking around and I don't see a flag. By the way, hi, welcome in. Roger Smith here, VypeFortBend.com. And so we had to kind of rush through the pre-game proceedings. And now there was indeed an offsides penalty. I thought I saw that, but I just never saw a yellow piece of fabric on the ground. So that'll set up Clements in a much better situation as they now have 2nd down and a long 3. Micah Darnell takes the snap, and he runs straight up the middle, and he runs straight into a big Elkins lineman. But this time it was not Torian Crawford. This time it's Deron Smith. And he even took a loss of 1. So it's going to be 3rd down and 4 for the Rangers. And you know that based on what Coach Darnell said in our interview with him a moment ago, he is properly respectful of Elkins, and he's going to make sure that his team does not underestimate these Knights, even though the Knights have not won. So it's one of those nights where you got to look out for the Knights. Okay, 3rd down and 4. 2 running backs in the backfield. We might see the return of Demas Kasuma tonight. Rolling right is Darnell. Through the shadows and into the light, and now he is sacked. Cannot get the ball out of his hand. Andre Pittman sacks him near the sideline, way back at the 32. And that's a loss of 8 yards, although they give him forward progress to a point closer than that. Actually, now they did what I thought they were going to do. And it wasn't even back to the 32, it was back to the 30. So Coach Darnell can't be happy with the execution by the Rangers on the first series of downs that they had, and now it'll be Lyle Link to boot it away. Punting situation from the 30-yard line. And it's a high snap. It's over Link's head. He chases it back to his 3-yard line and picks it up, and he's belted there by Pittman right there. He bounced up, but, you're down, Lyle. Okay, so it's going to be 1st and goal for the Knights, and what a shot in the arm that is for these Knights, who have just had a nightmarish season thus far, but maybe this is going to be the night that turns it around for them. And as the cheerleaders said in the Countdown to Kickoff show, real Knights play here, not at the Renaissance Festival. I hope you enjoyed that. If not, you can go back and listen to it on the podcast, because we did that, get that part in on the Countdown to Kickoff show. Okay, officially they spot the ball at the 4. That is where Andre Pittman dropped Lyle Link like a sack of rocks. And here we go with Isaiah Smith and the Elkins offense in the white jerseys with the royal blue pants, double white stripes on either side, and the Las Vegas gold helmets. And they hand it off. No, they keep it. It is Isaiah Smith running right, but he cannot get around the pursuit. And he's dropped for no gain. That was Titan Chanelak, the left cornerback, who came up and kind of turned Isaiah Smith back in toward the middle. The setback for Elkins is Christian Palouse. We are just underway. 2nd down and goal for the Knights. They did give Isaiah Smith credit for gaining a yard on the play. So the ball is at the 3-yard line. Give to Palouse, off left tackle, into the end zone. Touchdown. With 9:48 to go in the first quarter, the Elkins Knights have jumped out in front. And I have to confess, I didn't really get a chance to check out prior to the game, whether the Knights had actually been ahead in a game, but I kind of wonder. It's been very, very rough on them. They've been behind in nearly every game, and here they are on top by a score of 6-0. And they bring out their kicking specialist, Oswaldo Renfigo. Good snap and hold. The kick is up. The kick is good. 7-0 Knights. 9:48 to go in quarter number 1. This is VypeFortBend.com.
Hi, this is Mariela
and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Okay, let's see how the Clements Rangers respond coming into this game with only one loss. That was to Ridge Point 2 weeks ago, receiving the kickoff as they're down by 7-0, and a fair catch called for and made. Kenneth Robinson over by the far sideline. By the way, the kicking specialist for the Knights, Assad Abbas. And what he has done on the first two kickoffs for the Knights is basically kick one of those lob wedge kicks. It doesn't go very deep, but really the safest thing for Clements to do is to call a fair catch. And the reason the Knights are doing that is for one reason only, and that's to keep it away from number 7, Patrick Smith. Micah Darnell, toss sweep. Demas Kasuma, first carry, carrying to the right, outside the numbers, and tumbles forward for a gain of 12 yards. Welcome back, Demas Kasuma. He was going to be a big part of their running game preseason, but he has been nursing an injury. Now he is back on the field and officially 11 yards on that first carry. And there you go. So the Rangers have a first down at their own 41-yard line, moving left to right. And the ball is on the right hash mark. Now Micah Darnell rolls to his left, throws in the flat, got Patrick Smith, got a catch, and another 11-yard gain and a first down. That's a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com.
First down.
We've got a week full of football, and tomorrow night we'll have Dulles and Ridge Point for you, 6:45, I promise, with the Countdown to Kickoff show. And then a doubleheader on Saturday. The first of those games is Kempner against Terry, and then at night, Travis against Bush. Empty backfield for Micah Darnell. Stands strong, looking deep down the hash marks. Catch made to his little bro. Or is it his older bro? I don't know, but he got it to Marcus Darnell. And the brothers are making music. It's a catch all the way down to the 13-yard line. "36 yards on the catch. That's the third play of the drive. And the Rangers are looking more like themselves. J.R. Morellis in the pistol formation behind Darnell. And there goes J.R. straight up the middle, but he's hit early and goes nowhere. Torian Crawford finished it off, and Deron Smith hit him low to make sure he got finished off. So I kind of butchered that. Anyway, Deron Smith hit him first, hit him low. Torian Crawford came along and finished him off. Hopefully you get the word picture. No gain, second down and 10 from the 13 of the Elkins Knights. The Knights got off to that 7-0 lead, and they want to protect it right here. Darnell sends Patrick Smith in motion, tosses it to him, deep in the backfield, but sweeping it outside the numbers. Flag comes in as he gets near the marker that he needs to reach for the first down, but I think this might come back. Matthew McGill came up and made the tackle, and now Curtis Payne, our referee, will give us the call. And it is holding against the Rangers. That's a bad break for them, but it'll still only be second down. So now there are several Clements assistant coaches who are giving hand signals. That could be a paranoia thing. It could be like different signals to different members of the offensive unit. And the Rangers huddle, and now they have an exotic formation with 4 receivers over on the left and an empty backfield and only 5 linemen in front of Micah Darnell. Turns around and looks over at the coaches one more time. Play clock is at 12. Calling for the snap. Now he's going to run it to the right, but he doesn't get through that he doesn't get big yardage through that big Elkins line. He does squeeze through and pick up, I believe, 6 yards on the play. And that'll leave these Rangers with a 3rd down and 15. Remember, in Lyle Link, they have a very good field goal kicker if they do need to settle for that. Over on the left side of the formation in the sunlight is Joey Mongonia. 2 receivers in the slot over on the left side. Dropping back is Darnell, looking left now, sets up the screen. There's Morales, 15-10, good block in front of him, and he dives inside the 5, and he's going to have a 1st and goal right there. The Rangers convert on a 3rd down and 15.
Smith. Good enough for Rangers, 1st down.
So now we have a timeout on the field, and it's because of an injury. One of the Rangers is injured. It's one of the offensive linemen, Zach Yuan. They're looking at his left leg. We'll step aside, take a break. 7-0, Elkins on top, but the Rangers will have a 1st and goal at the 3 when we return.
First Siren Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firsttireauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Siren Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firsttireauto.com.
Okay, well, good news. Zach Yuan got to his feet and got off the field on his own. Hopefully he'll be able to return. Meanwhile, his mates line up at the 3-yard line of the Elkins Knights, trailing 7-0 here in the 1st quarter. Darnell under center, power I formation, and up the middle, there is the man, the big back, Avery Clark, who comes in those short yardage situations. Into the end zone he goes. Avery Clark scores the touchdown that could lead to the equalizing extra point. Allison Wang is going to come on and attempt the extra point out of the hold of Micah Darnell. Good snap and hold, and her kick is on the way. It is good. So the Rangers have tied it up with 6:19 to go in the 1st quarter. We'll be back. This is VypeFortBend.com.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
That Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive by the Clements Rangers covered 70 yards in 7 plays. It took 3 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock, and Avery Clark banged it in from 3 yards away. The Rangers were offsides, and then they squib kicked it, and this is going to be a pretty good result for the Elkins Knights as it went to Jackson Hart, and he ran to his left and got all the way out to the 44-yard line. And I believe what the Knights can do here is they have the option to tack on 5 yards for the offsides penalty onto that kickoff. And you know, Lyle Link can hammer it into the end zone nearly every time. And I think the Rangers were thinking that the Knights were thinking that that's what Lyle Link was going to do. But instead of having Link kick it, several guys ran toward the football, and the timing was really bad because multiple Clements Rangers went across the 40-yard line before the ball was actually kicked. So Curtis Payne and his officiating crew are talking it over, and that option I thought the Knights would take is indeed what they're doing. So they have the ball at their own 49. That's really good field position. 6:12 to go in quarter number one. We are all tied up 7 apiece. Isaiah Smith. The running back behind him is Jacoby Height, who got a lot of playing time 2 weeks ago. And it's Height straight up the middle. No, it is Isaiah Smith keeping. And he gets to the edge. A flag comes in late after he picks up first down yardage, and we'll see what this is. And now he got a little bit of a scrum going on. The Knights' Greg Green was kind of mixing it up with Andrew Bohovich. The two were on the ground, throwing a few punches here and there, but we get flags not only for what happened during the play, but also what happened afterwards. So it is going to be holding against the Knights. And you know, now that I think about it, the flag that was thrown, that was on the ground, I think might have been on the ground already before Green and Bohovich started rolling around and brawling. But they put an end to that quickly, and I don't think they threw a flag for that. So it was indeed holding. It was 5 yards down the field. So from the spot of the foul, sets up the Knights with a first down and 15. Smith looks left, has two receivers over to the right, rolling away from the pressure, throws sideline, got Greg Green, got a first down. He went out of bounds at the 40-yard line. That's a quick 16-yard pickup for Greg Green, number 8 of the Elkins Knights. That's a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. Smith with Height behind him in the pistol. Fake to Height, keep by Smith. And he gets between the hash marks and the numbers on the near side and struggles down to the 35-yard line, and he picked up 5 yards. Patrick Smith bringing down Isaiah Smith, no relation. But you know what? We do have a Nick's Italian Restaurant family connection. Michaela Holmes is a sophomore student, and she runs video for the Elkins Knights football program. And her dad, former San Francisco 49er, is here at the ball game, and she's got a brother who is in middle school. That's Mike Holmes, the third in middle school, and Mike Holmes, the dad, the former NFL player, is here at the ball game. And before the Knights snap the ball and run another play, they call a timeout with 5:03 to go, and we'll take it with them. This is VypeFortBend.com.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or NeedvilleInsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Here come the Knights. Jackson Hart, single receiver to the left side of the formation. 2 receivers over on the right. Hart goes in motion, so there are now 3 receivers over there, and they swing it out there to Hart. Makes a couple of moves, but cannot get around the Clements pursuit, and he's dropped for no gain. And a guy who really made a difference there, Xander Salazar, did not make the tackle, but he did tie up 2 blockers. And that enabled Titan Chanelak to make the tackle. 3rd down and 5 for the Knights, and they need to get to the 30-yard line of the Clements Rangers. It is 7-7. This is the Knights' second possession, and they were able to score from in close after a botched punt snap. That's how they got their touchdown. Isaiah Smith rolling to the left, looking to throw. Here's the pressure, and he just throws it toward the line of scrimmage. Did he get it there? I guess he did, but you know, that wasn't a sack, but Ferris Rafai did plant him in the field turf. And it is going to be intentional grounding. Isaiah Smith tried to throw it to the line of scrimmage, but he did not get it there. So that is a sack for Ferris Rafai. And a loss of 15 yards. Wow, all the way back to midfield. So it's going to be 4th down and forever, basically, for the Knights. And Jackson Hart backs up about 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage to punt it away. So after that ugly punt snap and allowing the very short touchdown scoring drive by the Knights, it looks like the Clements Rangers have kind of restored order here. Most seasons, if Clements is playing Elkins, then the Elkins Knights would be the favored team, but not this year. Looks like the Rangers are bent on blocking this punt. Hart waiting for the snap. It's a good one. And they protect him well, and he gets the punt in the air. And it is Patrick Smith from the 15-yard line. Makes a move, makes 2 moves. Here he comes. Near side, 20, turning it up, 25, 30, near sideline. Back toward the middle of the field and knocked out of bounds finally at the 44-yard line. How about that? 30-yard punt return for lightning in a bottle, Patrick Smith. No relation to, well, me. But I'd be very proud if we were related. Actually, thinking about it, if he has that DNA and athletic ability, and let's say we were in the same bloodline and I had accomplished so little as an athlete, I would actually be embarrassed. Yeah, and I actually did not fulfill my potential, but how many people can you say that about? I'm just one of them. All right, 44-yard line, 1st and 10. And it is Micah Darnell, keeper, over the left side, following his blockers very nicely and picking up 6 to the 50-yard line. 7-7. The Rangers had a masterful 7-play, 70-yard drive to get their touchdown on a short run by their hammer back, Avery Clark. Darnell turns around and hands it off. There goes Kusuma. I believe that's his 2nd carry of the night, and he picks up 3 over the right side, and that'll set up a 3rd and short. For the Knights, getting up off the bottom of the pile, Kendall Jackson. And let's call it 3rd down and a 1.5 yards needed. And I wonder if Clements might just, fake the dive play, which is probably what the defense is expecting, and throw a deep play action pass. Would they do that? Would they? Darnell does fake the handoff, is going to throw a pass, but it is picked off. The Knights have it. It is Deron Smith making the pick near the sideline over here on this side, and he returns it to the 44-yard line. So the Knights defense was ready for, I'm not going to call it trickeration, but for the unexpected play action pass on 3rd and less than 2 yards to go. So the first turnover, actually, I was about to say the first turnover of the game goes to the Knights, but that wouldn't be right, because when the Knights got the ball on downs on that bad punt snap on the first Clements possession, that too was a turnover. So they are winning the turnover battle 2-0 now. 2 running backs in the backfield. Height is one of them. Fake to him. Isaiah Smith carrying it up the middle, gets pretty much nothing. Xander Salazar wrapping up his feet, and a bunch of his buddies were taking care of the rest of him. Tosan Okopi also in on the tackle, but it is a 2-yard gain. I thought it was a no gain. Isaiah Smith runs over and talks to Coach Brantley. I think he's okay. He did seem to be running a little bit differently than he normally does. Clock running, 2 minutes exactly to go in quarter number 1. Second down and 8. Nick Sanders, a setback in the backfield, height in motion. Smith looks that way, now rolls to his right, looking deeper down the field and simply throws it away in the general direction of Landon Simmons, but he was well covered at the 30. Ball flies out of bounds, and it's going to be 3rd and 8 for the Knights. Our referee tonight, Curtis Payne.
Brings up second down.
Now hold on a second. It should be 3rd down. The stick says second down, but it should be 3rd down.
Second down, 3rd down.
Thank you. I was right. So I'm not right that often, and when I am right, I kind of revel in it. But the Knights have taken a timeout. They want to discuss their plans for 3rd and 8. And we'll be back on VypeFortBend.com.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstironauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstironauto.com.
So the Knights have it at the 42-yard line of Clements in a 7-7 game with 1:43 to go in this first quarter as the Knights, as the field is totally engulfed in shade now, seeing if they can convert. Isaiah Smith rolls left, now right, flings it out into the flat, and this is going to work for a first down and more inside the 30 and all the way to the 23-yard line. It's Matthew McGill. That is a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. All Isaiah Smith did was roll a little bit to the left, get the defense moving that way, and then he threw it back to the right, and nobody covered McGill coming out of the Knights' backfield. It ends up being a 25-yard gain. First down, and they mark it at the 24. Smith hands it off. There goes Height. Starts left and turns it upfield before he reaches the hash mark, and he's going to gain 3. Second down and 7 coming up for the Knights. On the tackle for the Rangers, Alex Aguirre Acosta. Also Ferris Rafai.
Brings up second down.
We're in the final minute of quarter number 1. And it is still Nick Sanders and Jacoby Height, the backfield mates for Isaiah Smith, who runs outside the numbers. He's got a first down and runs out of bounds, staying ahead of that Clements pursuit. The closest guy to him who would have had a chance to make a tackle.
Smith, good enough for a Knights first down.
I think that was Andrew Bohovich. Yep, that's who it was, who almost got him, but he did know where the stick was, and he got 2 yards past it. So now the ball is at the 12-yard line. First and 10 from there for the Elkins Knights. Clock at 18 seconds left in the first quarter. Will this be the final play of the period? Fake to Palouse. Smith keeping. And he splits 2 tacklers, but the ball comes out. He recovers it himself at the 5. Oh, my goodness, a very dramatic final play of this first quarter. That's the end of it. We'll be back.
Number 1, Smith, the ball carrier.
This is VypeFortBend.com. 7-7, Clements and Elkins after 1.
Hi, this is Mariela
and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
You are the master.
We mean everything. We take care of you, so you can take care of business. Office Depot Office Max. Taking care of business.
As we begin the second quarter, I want to know we've got quite a halftime show in store for you. Mike Anderson, who's with the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. You know, you might not even know there's a Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, but you're going to find out all about it during our halftime visit with him. But that's just leading up to Sarah Merrifield. She is one of the sports correspondents for Bally Sports Southwest and the High School Scoreboard Live show. She's very talented. She is outstanding, as are all of their reporters, and she will join us at halftime. Second down and 3 for the Knights. First play of the second quarter. Turn around and a give to Palouse. Throwing the hammer up the middle all the way to the 1 yard line before finally the Rangers stop him. Christian Palouse is a tough guy to bring down, and that gives them a 1st and goal. So they just needed 3 yards for the first. They got what they needed, and now they are on the lip of the cup. Would they give it to Nick Sanders, number 4? He always seems to be in there to block. I'll bet he'd like to score a touchdown. There are 3 running backs surrounding Isaiah Smith. One of them is Palouse, and they give it to Palouse again. No, it's a keeper. Smith. Nobody followed him into the end zone inside the left pylon for a touchdown. And the Knights are back on top by a score of 13-7. So Isaiah Smith made that look pretty easy. Just a little bit of sleight of hand. You know that Bradley Stavanaugh at the Needville Insurance Agency is your hometown trusted insurance agent. He can make insurance easy for you and save you money. Well, your hometown coach is our own Dennis Brantley, who went to Houston Worthing High School. While there, he set records as the best high hurdler in the state of Texas, and his record stood for more than 30 years. Dennis Brantley, your hometown coach from Houston Worthing. The extra point kick is up, and it's good. And it's now 14-7. Elkins on top of Clements. We'll continue on VypeFortBend.com right after this.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or NeedvilleInsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
After the touchdown that puts them up 14-7, the Knights deploy the pop-up kick again, and it's a fair catch, called for and made at the 28-yard line of the Rangers by Matthew McGill. Correction, he plays for the Knights. Sorry, looked at the wrong roster. Bryce Matthews. 11:26 to go in quarter number 2. And on the first play, it's Patrick Smith going wide, getting good yardage. First down and more, all the way out to the 28-yard line. But wait a minute, the ball came out. I think Patrick Smith fumbled. The Knights are saying they have the football, And coming away with the football is Ashton Payne, and the officials say they're right. Somebody ripped the ball out of the hands of Patrick Smith. And that is the third turnover of the first half by these Clements Rangers. And Elkins, if they can take advantage of this and go up by a couple of touchdowns, they'd really start to get that confidence that has been really impossible for them to find over the first 6 weeks of the season. All right, Isaiah Smith and the offense of the Elkins Knights got to be feeling pretty good, and they give it to Height over the right side, but he only picks up 1 yard, and that is a perfect textbook tackle. Weza Pereira of the Clements Rangers. 2nd down and 9.
Brings up 2nd down.
Knights taking, they're not playing fast, but they're not taking forever between plays either. Out of the pistol, fake handoff to Height. Greg Green in the flat on the left side. Making a move toward the sideline, now turns it up straight down the field, and he gets the 1st down inside the Rangers 30 to the 29.
Brought down by number 3.
And that is a 1st down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. Greg Green really getting involved in the Elkins offense this week. The Knights looking back at their sideline. By the way, I'm glad you're listening to us. That's wonderful, but wish you were here. It is 84 degrees, but the sun has gone down. It's nice and cool here at Hall Stadium. 3rd play of the drive. Smith is going to keep it again. Turns it up inside the hash marks and gets a gain of 6 to the 24 of the Rangers.
Number 1, Smith with the quarterback. He runs out by number 33, Pereira.
Pereira makes another tackle for the Rangers.
Brings up 2nd down.
They need to get to the 20-yard line. Clock running, 9:44 to go in the first half. Knights up 14-7. Smith gives it to Height, breaks a tackle, gets the 1st down inside the 20 and down to the 17. But at the end of the play, a flag flies in by the linesman over on the far side, and we'll see what that is. It might be holding, and if it is, that would be a shame for the Knights. All right, Curtis Payne letting us know who committed that penalty, but I couldn't hear him, so, it's just as, what would Jack Webb say on Dragnet? Instead of the names are changed to protect the innocent, I would say the name is omitted to protect the guilty. But no harm done. Well, harm done, but not all is lost for the Elkins Knights. It is now 2nd down and 12, and they have the ball at the Rangers 32. Nose tackle Alex Aguirre Acosta was in a stance for a long time. And there's a delay, and now there's a timeout. Okay, let's take a timeout. Why the heck not? 14-7, Elkins on top, 9:05 to go in quarter number 2. This is VypeFortBend.com.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
Big play coming up for the Elkins Knights. The whole year has been a struggle for them. They are not used to falling on hard times, but you can wash a lot of those bad feelings away if you can get a victory. And even though they have a lot of respect for the Clements Rangers, they're kind of hometown rivals. So, you like to beat those hometown rivals. Avion Stewart in as one of the setbacks for the Knights. Going to block for Isaiah Smith. Fake to Greg Green on the jet sweep and firing. Wide open, caught! Flag down into the end zone. Goes that man I just mentioned, Avion Stewart. But what is that flag for? What is it for? Will it nullify the touchdown, or will the Knights be able to decline it and celebrate? I think I see a pass interference penalty, but who's it going to be against? Okay, well, the pass interference penalty is against the Knights. So 2 penalties thus far on this drive. They've snapped it 5 times. They've run 3 plays and had 2 plays that were wiped out by a penalty. So I think maybe the reason that Avion Stewart was so wide open was because he pushed off or something. But I'll tell you what, Dennis Brantley, head coach of the Knights, is really upset with the official over there on the sideline who threw the flag. So here we go. What is the down and distance? My goodness, it is going to be 2nd down and 27, way back at the Clements 47 for the Knights, who lead it 14-7. And they're taking a long time to look over at the sideline, and the play clock expires, and they take a delay of game penalty that'll make it 2nd down and 32. And Coach Brantley is angry. I don't know if he's so much angry with his team, or maybe he's angry with the officials for starting the play clock sooner than they should have. And now the play clock is at 17 seconds, and they haven't lined up yet. Sure hope they have 11 players out there. I don't really have time to count them. 8:57 to go before the half. Knights leading 14-7. They're at their own 48-yard line. Smith drops back. They give him plenty of time. Now he's flushed to the right, and he throws it away near the Clements bench. And he was brought down hard when he released it by Tosan Okopi. So while he didn't lose any yardage, Isaiah Smith did pay the price. It is 3rd down and 32. And I'm writing down information just in case this is an Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive. But you know what? The Knights are either going to need to be bailed out by a penalty or just make some kind of super remarkable play on 3rd down and 32 to go. 3 receivers on the right side of the formation. Smith swings it out there, and the pass is too tall, incomplete, intended for Assad Abbas. And there to blow up the play, Gaia Tim for the Rangers.
Brings up 4th down.
Okay, 4th and 32. I think the best thing to do here would be to punt. I may not be a smart man, but I know what a punting situation is. Jackson Hart counting teammates in front of him. He's got 10. Patrick Smith in the middle of the field, and before they get the punt snapped, it's a false start on the Knights. So it'll officially be 4th and 37. Oh boy. This has been a good solid game other than special teams execution. So now Jackson Hart, with the new line of scrimmage being the 43, stands at his own 28-yard line, and Patrick Smith hoping to get a chance to run this thing back. And Hart kicks it where Smith may get a chance, but it doesn't bounce where he needed it to. It kind of checks up at the 23-yard line, and the Rangers will take over. Office Depot, Southwest Freeway at Williams Trace in Sugar Land, takes care of business every day, so we can bring you games on Vype, FortBend.com every week. And the Rangers defense just took care of business after the Patrick Smith fumble was recovered by the Knights, they made sure that the Elkins Knights did not expand their 14-7 lead. So here we go with Clements with the ball at their own 23-yard line. And there is a run up the middle. Good yards. I thought it was about 5, and it ends up being about 9. And there at the bottom of the pile, Patrick Smith. They've kind of used him as a running back.
Smith will be carried for the Rangers. Brings up second down.
And as long as he can hold on to the football, that might be a really good idea. But now we have a new quarterback. It is Gunnar Chenier in there for the Knights, for the Rangers. Now he throws one to a wide open Micah Darnell. He's down the sideline. He may go all the way. He's down at the 1. But wait a minute, there's a flag, and I think they're going to say that that was an illegal formation as Micah Darnell was lined up in the old hideout play right by the sideline. So that was a trickeration play, and Coach Darnell is talking to referee Curtis Payne from a long way off, saying Micah Darnell was on the field and it should not be a flag, but it is unsportsmanlike conduct is the hand signal. I can't hear referee Curtis Payne's mic very well. But on 2nd down and 2, what would have been a long pass all the way down to the 1 on the old hideout play, it does not work. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Rangers, and Coach Darnell is just saying that that should not be, but of course he doesn't have a vote. So that 15-yard penalty backs the Rangers up, and right now they have, let's see, 2nd down and 19 to go. Don't forget at halftime, Mike Anderson of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame and the lovely Sarah Merrifield of High School Scoreboard Live. The ball at the 16 for the Rangers, empty backfield. Micah Darnell calling for the snap. 3 receivers on his right. He looks that way, pumps, now runs up the middle, big yardage, 25, and slides down at the 30. And the Rangers fans are saying throw the flag. It is a pickup of 14, and now they're going to have a very manageable 3rd down and 3.
Brings up 3rd down.
Clock running, 7.5 minutes to go before the halftime break. Elkins Knights winless, but in good shape right now, leading 14-7. And they bring in the heavy backfield and the man who scored the touchdown for the Rangers tonight, Avery Clark. He's one of 3 setbacks in a power eye. Darnell gives it to him. He runs straight ahead. He's not going to have the first down. He'll have about half of what he needed, and that's it. And who was dragging him down? Credit Braden Thompson, whose dad, Tony, was the booster club leader for the Knights for 3 years, while Braden's big brother Blake was starting in the secondary for the Knights. And now it's 4th, and we'll call it 2. And the Rangers are putting their backfield out there, running from the pistol, rolling the dice from their own 31-yard line. Will Micah Darnell just try to draw them off? The play clock runs out. Timeout called by the Rangers before delay of game penalty is called. We'll take the timeout with them. 14-7 Elkins on top, and it'll be 4th and a long 2 for these Clements Rangers when we return.
Hi, this is Mariela
and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
It was a very short timeout. Lyle Link to punt. Good snap, and it is Dexter Jackson who tries to field it on the fly, but he just can't do it, and now he backs away from it. It's a pretty good Rangers roll down to the 23-yard line. "46-yard punt with no return by Lyle Link." 6:11 to go before the half.
Punt by the Rangers will give the Knights the ball. The 24-yard line. First down.
So tomorrow night we will have the game between Ridgepoint and Dulles. The Panthers looking to stay undefeated atop the standings in District 26A. Actually, they're not the only undefeated team, but they do have one more win than Travis. 1st and 10, and there is the give to Greg Green. He's got speed going around the right side, and if not for an ankle tackle, he might have gone all the way. Ferris Rafai tripped him up. It's an 11-yard gain.
Stood up for the Knights. First down.
Then on Saturday, 10:45 countdown to kickoff show before we bring you Kempner against Terry. And then the nightcap, 5:45 countdown to kickoff show, 6 p.m. kickoff as it is Travis taking on Bush. Bush is undefeated also. 1st and 10 from the 36. Here goes Isaiah Smith trying to get out of the backfield, and this time Ferris Rafai and his good buddy, the other linebacker, Matt McGinnis, were waiting and blew up the play. No gain.
Brings up second down.
They do give Isaiah Smith, I'm going to call it a scant yard. You know, if you're doing a recipe, sometimes they say put it in a scant cup. Well, it's less than a yard, but it's more than half a yard. So, 2nd down and 9 officially for the Knights. Height in the backfield next to Smith. Smith reverse. There goes Green. McGinnis misses the tackle, but Ferris Rafai takes care of him as he picks up 6 and tumbles out of bounds on the far side. I think maybe Rafai slowed him down just enough for McGinnis to finish off the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and a long 3 for the Knights as the clock ticks. And now the Knights are trying to make sure they have the right personnel on the field, but the play clock is at 10. Smith still looking at the sideline. Clock at 2. Better hurry. Get the thing snapped. And he just does get it snapped. Smith rolls to his left. Throws. Got Green. Got a first down. Quick little pass of 8 yards on the far sideline. Boy, was that ever in the nick of time. So they move the sticks. New line of scrimmage is the 49-yard line, their own 49, with 4:49 to go before halftime. Elkins leading 14-7. Pistol formation. Give to Height. Up the middle he goes, and he picks up 2, perhaps 3, no more than that. And it was Dominic Golemi on the tackle for your Clements Rangers. They did give him a pickup of 3 yards.
Brought down by number 42 to 5. Brings up second down, Knights.
We want to welcome those of you who were watching the Astros. They beat the White Sox 6-1 in game 1 of their playoff series. Smith throws one out into the flat, but I think the ball was tipped, and it was one of those passes that basically went parallel to the line of scrimmage. But one of the Rangers got a finger on it, and I think that was
Gaia Tim. So now here we go with a third down and 7 to go for these Elkins Knights. 4:18 to go before the half. Smith looking around, takes the snap. They protect him. Steps up in the pocket. Sideline. Jackson Hart catch. First down at the 38-yard line for the Elkins Knights.
Pass is complete to number 7, Hart.
That is a first down. Think of First Tyrant Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttyrantauto.com. 13-yard gain on the throw from Isaiah Smith to Jackson Hart. Here comes the 7th play of the drive. With the ball at the 39-yard line, and we're under 4 minutes to go in the half. Smith fakes the handoff, runs to his left, being shadowed. Salazar was on him all the way. He did manage to squeeze out a gain of 2, but that's it.
Pressure by number 38, Salazar. Brings up second down.
Don't forget to be with us at halftime. Mike Anderson of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, and also Sarah Merrifield of High School Scoreboard Live. And in all of our games this week, we will feature those two as our halftime interviews. Second down and 9 yards to go. Smith hands it off. Hard running for height. Gets 3 yards, and that's it. No, he's still going, and it's actually Deron Smith. 26, not 20. And he kept on going. He got 8 yards, and he took it to the 40 where it's going to be 3rd and 1.
Tripped up by number 5, Petty. Brings up third down.
You know, the Rangers received the football to start the game, so that means Elkins will get it first to start the third quarter. And if they could finish off this drive with a touchdown and go up 21-7 and get the football, they'd have to be feeling pretty good about themselves. And here we go on 3rd and 3. Smith going to keep it. Going around the left side. Rafai chasing. He got a piece of him, but I think he got to the stick. And yes, he did. He also got 1 yard more than that. And it's a first down. Think of First Tyrant Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttyrantauto.com. Elkins has kept the ball on this drive for over 3 minutes now. From the 28, give to Deron Smith. No, Christian Palouse. They're rotating lots of backs in and out of there. And Palouse picks up 3 yards over left guard. Bohovic brought him down. Elkins moving from left to right here in this second quarter. Ball on the left hash, and it's 2nd and 7 from the Clements 25. .223 to go in quarter number 2. Play action pass. Smith, far sideline, looking for Hart. The ball is intercepted by the Rangers. Junior Onitape.
Number 5, Onitape with the interception for the Rangers.
You know, he makes plays in every game, and we haven't really called his name until now. Junior Onitape. So the Knights ran 11 yards, and they turn it over for the first time. They get nothing out of it, but the good news is the Rangers are going to have to start from their own 2-yard line. Just saying, back in 1986 AFC Championship game, John Elway and the Broncos, what's known as The Drive, started at their own 2-yard line. That's where the Rangers are. Micah Darnell in the spread. Takes the snap, gives it off, and a stretch play, run into the left, and J.R. Morellis picks up 7. Tumbles down at the 9-yard line.
Morellis, the ball carrier for the Rangers. Picked up by number 42.
2nd down and 3.
32.
Somebody kind of got J.R.'s instep. Tripped him up. He might have gone a long, long way if not for that trip up. Empty backfield on 2nd down and 3. Micah Darnell, 2 receivers on the right, 3 on the left. And setting up the screen, got it to Patrick Smith. 10-yard line, makes a move. Outside the numbers on the far side. 20, near the sideline, and wrestled out. Got to the 23 before they, caught that slippery, elusive runner, Patrick Smith. 1:32 to go on the second quarter clock. The Rangers do have 2 timeouts, and I'm sure they'll use them judiciously. That means they'll be smart about it for those of you in Rio Linda. Darnell claps his hands together. It's going to be a free play as the Knights jump. Far sideline pass over the head of his intended receiver, Patrick Smith. Covered nicely by Sean Thompson. And it will be offsides on the Knights, and the clock is at 1:29 to go. So they switch out footballs. Of course, I don't know why I said that, because they pretty much do that as a matter of course every play. I'm just describing what I see, There's also that thing, if you're in radio, the worst thing is dead air. You don't want dead air. You got to be saying something. 1st down and 5 after the offsides penalty. Fake to Kasuma. Micah Darnell throws late over the middle, and he's got his brother Marcus. 1st down at the 40. And the Rangers will hustle up to the line with the clock at 1:20 and ticking. They didn't stop the clock to move the chains. That's a rule. I don't know why they don't. J.R. Morellis dropped in the backfield for a loss of a yard. Deron Smith knifing through the gap, grabbing his feet and bringing him down. And the Rangers use their 2nd timeout of the half. We'll take it and be back. It's VypeFortBend.com.
First Siren Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firsttireauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Siren Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firsttireauto.com.
Depot on Williams Trace. VypeFortBend.com, your podcast home for Fort Bend County sports.
That is my friend Todd Harris, a coach at Sugar Land Middle School and our public address announcer, and I really appreciate Todd letting everybody know that this game is being broadcast live on VypeFortBend.com. Of course, it is always free to listen live, and it's free to listen later on our podcast. 2nd down and 11 for the Rangers, trailing 14-7 with 1:07 to go in the half. And they face a 2nd down and 11. Micah Darnell rolling to the right. And it's a shovel pass to Morellis. Near sideline. And a flag flies in as he goes out of bounds at the 48. I think this is coming back, at least in part. Both offenses have been committing penalties, usually holding on plays that had a lot of potential. And yep, it is going to back up the Rangers. So they would have had a very makeable 3rd and medium, about maybe 4 yards to go if they had gotten the result of that play. But now the down will be repeated, but it'll be 2nd and 21 to go. The play did go out of bounds, so the clock is stopped at 1:02. There are 4 Rangers on the near side, all bunched up in a quads offensive formation. Mongonia is the head of the diamond. 1 receiver over there on the right, and that's where Micah Darnell goes, and he throws too high for Patrick Smith. Pass incomplete. He was hit hard by Sean Thompson as the ball arrived, and I think at least one Clements parent wanted a hit that was unnecessary, but
Brings up 3rd down.
I think the officials made the right decision not to throw the flag on that play. So it'll be 3rd and 21 with 59.2 to go. And if the Knights are thinking, hey, we want to get the ball back, and do something with it before halftime. Well, they don't have any timeouts, and the Rangers have only one. Now they send 3 receivers to the far right. Mongonia is a single receiver on the near side. He's the tall one. And now we have a timeout. It's got to be taken by the Rangers if the scoreboard is right. Okay, they called a delay of game. So the Rangers just allowed the play clock to run down. They didn't want to burn their last timeout, at least not yet. They may not burn it at all if they don't convert here on 3rd and 26 after that penalty. Darnell drops back, climbs up in the pocket, now escapes to the right. Will he keep it? Will he throw it? Now he's going to run. Gets past Torian Crawford and is blown up right before he gets to the sideline. It's a late hit. Oh my goodness. I don't think there is any justification for that flag. I think it was a completely clean hit by Matthew McGill. But the flag was thrown, and the Elkins coaches, I should say, are just absolute. I see Coach Brantley threw his headset 20 feet up into the air. He is livid. It was a clean tackle, a clean hit. Micah Darnell was within the boundary before he was struck by Matthew McGill. 15-yard penalty bails out the Rangers, who were not going to get the first down on that play, and they probably would have punted it away on the next play. But now they have it at the 43-yard line of Elkins, and it's a first down from there. They have 49 2/10 seconds plus a timeout. I have seen Dennis Brantley more frustrated visibly on the sidelines this year than I've ever seen him. Darnell throws to Patrick Smith, off his fingertips, incomplete as he tried to hit him in the near side flat. 45.8 to go.
Brings up second down.
Whew. Elkins needs a win so bad, and they're putting forth a winning effort. They lead 14-7. And they're feeling like they should be running out the second quarter clock right now. But it's still Clements football at the 43 of the Knights. J.R. Morellis behind Micah Darnell in the pistol formation. Darnell looks toward the right sideline, throws, back shoulder throw, incomplete, intended for Mongonia. McGill was there on the coverage. 42.2 to go, and it's 3rd and 10. You will want to stick around for halftime. Learn all about the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame with Mike Anderson, who's been in charge of it for quite some time. And then Sarah Merrifield. Found out she was, number one, a product of Syracuse University. But is she related to Whit Merrifield of the Kansas City Royals? You have to listen and find out. 3rd and 10. Darnell rolling left. Throws near the sideline. Ball was incomplete. And that was perfect coverage by the Knights' Braden Thompson. And Patrick Smith was the intended target. And now it's 4th and 10 at the 43, but with 37.9 to go, and the Knights with no timeouts, I think the Rangers will simply go for it. And you might as well fling it toward the end zone. Maybe we can see just how strong Micah Darnell's arm is right here. I'm surprised they're not going with an empty backfield. It's Morellis behind Micah Darnell. Takes the snap, and he flings it down the near sideline. Patrick Smith got the catch inside the 10-yard line. Dropping a dime is Micah Darnell right between 2 defenders, and somehow it's caught and out of bounds. So, with the ball at the 10-yard line, the Rangers don't have to use a timeout. But they do use it right here, and we'll take it with them. Wow, what a pass. It was a 33-yarder. We'll be back on VypeFortBend.com with the final seconds of the half. In fact, there's more time on the clock than I thought, because they didn't stop the clock when Patrick Smith went out of bounds. So there's 26.6 to go. Okay, now we'll take that break.
we take care of you so you can take care of business. Office Depot Office Max.
Taking care of business.
We are back, and wow, what a huge call that turned out to be. The one that I really, honestly, just did not think was justified. The late hit called on McGill. And now here are the Rangers with a 1st and 10 at the 10. Darnell rolls right. There's traffic. Cutting back to his left, going up the middle, fighting toward the goal line. Did he get in? He did! 10-yard touchdown run by Micah Darnell. And I think you could boil an egg. Not boil, fry an egg on top of the bald head of Dennis Brantley, the head coach of the Knights. You know, he's going to be telling those officials on the way to the locker room that there is no way that the Clements Rangers drive should have been supported by that late hit out of bounds. Allison Wang with the extra point, up and good, 14 all. Will be back with the kickoff. This game is even with 17.3 to go in the half.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or needvilleinsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
Okay, fans, so we'll have these final 17 seconds of the half. And in order to make sure we get the entire halftime interview lineup brought to you, we are going to very, very quickly go to Mike Anderson, the guy from the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, as soon as the clock runs out on this first half. And here's the kickoff, this time not by Lyle Link. As it goes into the end zone, I'm sorry, I should know this guy's name by now. Timothy Kroon, he is very good at getting touchbacks on kickoffs, and he blows that one all the way beyond the end zone. So it'll be the Knights, and I wonder, will they come out in a victory formation? I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Yeah, I think this is going to be victory formation. Yeah, that's right. They've got height well back behind the line of scrimmage, and they'll snap it to Isaiah Smith, and that will be that for the first half. And we'll take one quick break and be back with our visit with Mike Anderson of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. Our halftime score, Clements 14 and Elkins 14.
Hi, this is Mariela
and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
It's halftime here on VypeFortBend.com, and our halftime score is
Clements 14, Elkins 14.
What a great guest we have for you for this ball game. We've got Mike Anderson, the president of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. A lot of you folks out there love high school football, but you may not even know there's a Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. Mr. Anderson, thanks for being with us, and tell us a little bit about the history of the Hall of Fame up until now.
Glad to be here, and the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame was founded in Breckenridge, Texas in 1968, and was moved to Waco by a group of gentlemen from the Waco Chamber of Commerce in the 1980s, and we're currently moved to the location we are now in 1993 at 1108 South University Parks Drive here in Waco, and we'd love to have anybody come by and visit us at any time, and we're glad to be here.
Now, a lot of folks not only might not have known that there's a Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, they may not be aware of the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, where you just gave the address. It's basically, if I have my direction right, on the southeast corner of the Baylor campus.
Yes, it is, and right across from Baylor University, and not far from the new stadium. So if you're ever in Waco at a Baylor football or basketball or any event, we'd be glad to have you visit the Texas Sports Hall of Fame and also the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame and other venues that are here in the Sports Hall of Fame.
And I've just got to tell our audience, you've got to come here. You can't not come here. A lot of people they'll be amazed by just what is here. I mean, you can truly spend a whole day. One of the great days that you can spend here is if you come here on a Baylor home football Saturday. You can come in here and look at all the Hall of Fame artifacts and displays and see some great video and hear some old audio, but you can also watch the Baylor game on a big screen in the large assembly room there in the middle. Mr. Anderson, what are some events that you have on an annual basis for the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame?
It's open for rental for anyone to do anything. We have our, this last year, we had our first Texas High School Football Hall of Fame banquet here, and we had 256 people here at the banquet, and there are people that rent it for wedding rehearsals and for just anything that anybody here in Waco would want. A 300-seat facility that you can have here in Waco and rent. It's available, so we have a lot of events here.
We're talking with Mike Anderson, president of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. And let me tell you, I know a few things of very high-profile halls of fame, and also there are very small ones. I have a good friend in El Paso. He is one of the people that are caretakers of the El Paso Sports Hall of Fame. I know you have to really, truly love the sport. You have to love the people and honor them in a big way. And I know these can lead to very long discussions. So when you get together and decide who's going to get inducted, how do those discussions go and who all is involved in them and about how long do they take?
Well, we have a committee of 40, we have a board of 40 gentlemen who are on the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame board. And of those board, we have 7 of our members that are on the selection committee. And we meet around the 1st of August every year. And so that's when anyone can nominate a person for the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. You can do it by just calling in a name or emailing a name to us, and we'll get that person presented to that committee. But it's sad sometimes that we go into that meeting and we don't have all the names that we need to have, because if we don't have someone nominated or somebody's name is not brought to us, we're definitely not experts on this. So sometimes it goes a long time, sometimes it's pretty cut and dry. So it's a very honor for us and for those guys that are on that committee to be a part of that. So it's a really easy thing to do, and we look forward to it every year.
I have to tell you something else. If you were to maybe set the degree of difficulty for figuring out who should go into a certain Hall of Fame, I would put it out there that this is the hardest one of all. When you think about how expansive Texas is, how it has grown, how many different players play football in this state at the high school level. Now we have more than 100 seasons to draw on, and we have, I think, about 330 or so inductees to this point.
Yeah, and that's the deal. We honor the 1959s and before, the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s, and then we have 2 coaches. We realized many years ago that we would never get to all the coaches, and so now we're inducting 2 coaches each year, and we also have a category that is the contributor to the Dave Campbell contributor to the game, and that covers just anyone that has contributed to Texas high school football, maybe not ever played a down, but we have referees and UIL people and Coaches Association people. So it's a big task, but we enjoy doing it and we look forward to it every year.
We're going to take a quick break and talk a little bit more with Mike Anderson. And I don't want you to go Google it. That's lazy. But I want you to think about who are the 2 Fort Bend County high school players who are not only, well, one of them is in both the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. One of them is in the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, and he's not in a college Hall of Fame or a pro one, but he's really the most obvious choice of anybody who's played Texas high school football. We'll be back on VypeFortBend.com.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
Welcome back. Second part of our visit with Mike Anderson, president of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. And there are very special, prestigious events every year that are connected to the hall. Tell us about those.
Well, we have our banquet each year, and it's generally the first weekend in May. And during that banquet, like I said, we honor our inductees, and also at that banquet we have the Tom Landry Award that's given to the outstanding Texas high school coach and presented by the Texas High School Coaches Association. The Gordon Wood Trophy is presented to the outstanding team of that year, and we usually have that coach and a couple of his players come. And then also at that banquet we honor the 12 state championship teams by giving them a watch. And so it's a night that if you're around Waco or around this coming year, it will be May the 7th here at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame in Waco, and we'll be having our 2022 class inducted.
All right. Well, with about 330 inductees, it's going to be impossible for me to name every one of them, but there are a few things that I thought were pretty that stood out as I looked at the long list of them. First of all, it appears that by my count there are more people connected to Brownwood High School, the Brownwood Lions, than any other school, and mainly that's because of Gordon Wood, and his name is on an event too.
Yeah, Gordon Wood was obviously the winningest coach in Texas high school football history for many years, and so the Gordon Wood Trophy is presenting to a team each year that doesn't necessarily win a state championship. They just have overcome obstacles throughout the year because that's what Coach Wood stood for. And I think there are probably more people from Brownwood that are inducted because of Coach Wood, Coach Southall, his family, Lawrence Elkins, Mike Kinsey. I mean, you can go on, and it's just a hotbed of Texas high school football. And during the day, that was obviously where a lot of state championship teams were coming from.
And it gets harder every single year to pick a singular team because you think about how Texas is growing. There are new high schools opening every year in every part of the state. And on top of that, way back in 1982, the UIL decided that not just district champion, he is the Sugarland Express, and he was in part of your not your first class, I don't believe. I think he went in maybe in 1969. That was your second class.
Yeah, obviously he's very deserving, as there's so many that are deserving of that, and Kenneth Hall is just not only a great player but a good person, and I'm sure that his records some of them have fallen by now, but him being from your area is a special time, and he's a special gentleman.
All right, and now we move to the other Fort Bend County high school product who's in the Texas High School Hall of Fame. He's also in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and that is the pride of Willow Ridge, Thurman Thomas. And I'll name, along with Thurman Thomas, here are the Pro Football Hall of Famers who are also in the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame in alphabetical order. Sammy Baugh, Earl Campbell, Mean Joe Green, Forrest Gregg, Bobby Lane, Mike Singletary, Charlie Taylor, the aforementioned Thurman Thomas, Y.A. Tittle, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Doak Walker. And Drew Brees is also part of the Texas High School Hall of Fame. It's just a matter of time before he is inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Quite an august class, wouldn't you say?
That's definitely a group that a lot of big-time names, and we're excited that those gentlemen have joined us. You know, one of our rules about being inducted into the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame is that if you're living, you have to attend, and all of those gentlemen have been here in Waco at different times. And Thurman Thomas, I think, was inducted in 1992, and we're honored to have all of those as part of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame.
By the way, the greatest Woodlands Highlander who ever lived, Danny Amendola, he is in the most recently inducted class. And you have some other guys that I think it's just a matter of time for them to get in here, and one of them being John Randall. As you drive northward on Highway 6 toward Waco, you pass through Hearn, I believe it is, and it says Hearn is the home of John Randall. And Charlie Taylor, he was a great player with the, I can say it, Washington Redskins, because that's what they were. Chuck Dykus was also part of this most recent class. Tyrone Thurman, the Mighty Mite from Texas Tech, David Warren, and Danny Amendola, as we said. And there are also some fun nicknames that I don't know that Mr. Anderson knows any of these personally, but we've got Cecil Honk Irvin, Alfred Biggin Rose, Barton Bachi Koch, H.H. Jinx Tucker, James Froggy Williams, not to be confused with James Williams, who's the head coach of the Fort Bend Marshall Buffs. And if he has a nickname, he's never shared it with me. W.W. Wendy Nicholas, John Drew Booty Johnson, and there you go. That's my all nickname team. Anything that you want to add, Mr. Anderson? I just want people to know how great this is. I want them to know they can come to come to Waco and come to the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. It'll be a real treat. They won't regret it. So what are the ways they can contact you before they make their way here?
Well, we're just hoping that they would come to Waco and be a part of coming through the Hall of Fame. And like I said, it's not only the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, but those the other Hall of Fames that are located, Texas Sports Hall of Fame, and rooms that the Tom Landry room is a room in itself, and I think you could probably spend all day in there. But we're excited about y'all taking the time to have us on here today and to spread the word and talking about the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame and the Texas Sports Hall of Fame.
And all you got to do is put that in your search box, and it'll take you right to the website, tshof.org, I believe it is. And so come up here, put it on your bucket list, and make sure you get here before you run out of time to check things off your bucket list. Thank you, Mike Anderson, for being with us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all having us here.
VypeFortBend.com. Halftime. We'll be back right after this.
Hey high schoolers, are you interested in a career in sports media? Vype can help. Launched in 2017, our Vype U Ambassador Program is a one-of-a-kind educational scholarship program that offers high school students a chance to gain hands-on experience in the sports media field. Vype U also gives students a platform to build their portfolio of creative work under the guidance of Vype's seasoned professionals. From covering games to publishing photos, writing articles, and conducting on-camera interviews, each Vype U ambassador receives an immersive experience geared toward their interests, while promoting their own school and preparing them for their future. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out more about Vype U today.
It's halftime here on VypeFortBend.com, and time to talk to a special guest. She is Sarah Merrifield of High School Scoreboard Live. If you like high school football, you've seen her because nobody doesn't watch High School Scoreboard Live. Sarah, it's great to talk to you. So What is it like? And first of all, let me ask you, time flies. How many years have you been doing it?
Oh gosh, I got out to the state of Texas in 2015, and my very first year was in Abilene, Texas. My very first game was covering Abilene Cooper and Abilene High at Shotwell Stadium. It was quite an experience because I'm from California, so that was a whole new world in and of itself, but I've been here ever since and made my trip from Abilene to Austin, now up to the Dallas-Fort Worth area to work for Bally Sports Southwest.
Well, before we even started this interview, I asked you, do you know Mike Alexander? And you said yes. He's a great videographer for Bally Sports and High School Scoreboard Live. And he and I both went to college in Abilene, and we worked 4 stations in Abilene. And wow, the stories we could tell. But this is about Sarah Merrifield. First of all, for those of you who are baseball fans out there, you're not related to Whit Merrifield, but you had to talk to him to be sure, right?
Yes, we had a little conversation. My very first Rangers game actually on the road was in Kansas City, and I asked myself the same question. I was so curious, so I walked across the hallway into their open media room and got a chance to meet him. We determined that we are not related. However, very nice guy, and he was kind enough to even give me one of the shirts that has our last name on the back. So really good dude, and fun to have that connection, even though we're not related.
Oh, and interesting to you and maybe to a few listeners, I introduced Mike to his wife.
Oh, how sweet. Oh, it is such a small world.
She's Leanne from DeSoto.
Oh, okay.
And so we were having one of those late night study parties that ended up being pizza eating parties and not much studying. Mike came over to Leanne's, and I can't remember the girl that I was actually studying with, but so Mike was smitten instantly. He really liked Leanne, and then I talked to her a couple of days later, and she was thinking she didn't really feel the same way. And then a couple of weeks later, I said, have you told Mike? Because, you just need to tell him. She said, well, maybe I changed my mind. And the next thing you know, they're married for 35 years.
Small world. I mean, hey, you never know. You never know.
Well, I didn't mean for that story to get so long, but this is Sarah Merrifield, and you went to Syracuse. They have put out an amazing number of great broadcasters. So who can you brag on that's also from Syracuse and almost as good as you?
I mean, can we not forget the one of the more famous names on Scoreboard Live, Rick Renner. Rick Renner is a Syracuse grad, and we have a good time talking about Syracuse basketball. But, the good ones, Mike Tirico, some of the more local ones, Carter Blackburn, some really great mentors to come out of that space, and it's definitely been inspiring, and obviously wanted me to become a sports broadcaster too. So I'm happy I'm here, and I got the experience to go all the way across the country from California to be a part of their journalism program.
And there's a sports talk host in Houston. You probably don't know his name. He's not one of those guys that moves the needle, but those who really listen to him just could not respect him more. He never says anything stupid. Everything he says is right on point. His name is Charlie Palillo, a very proud Syracuse grad. Look him up. He's awesome. So you mentioned Rick Renner. When we come back and talk more with Sarah Merrifield, I'm going to tell her something about Rick Renner that I'm sure she doesn't know. We'll be back on VypeFortBend.com.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstironauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstironauto.com.
Welcome back during our halftime visit with Sarah Merrifield. She's on a High School Scoreboard Live, and you'll have to wait a few more seconds before the little Rick Renner thing. But it's really amazing to me what's happened with High School Scoreboard Live, how this show has evolved. It used to be 1 hour, and now it's 2 hours, and that's not really enough. With the technology that enables you to just go all over the state, you can basically cover games without being there. But that said, how many reporters are there like yourself that go out to wherever they need to go? week by week?
We have a handful, and over the last couple of years, we've definitely used our resources, and up to 7 reporters, or during our Texas Football Days coverage, we have up to 10. But even our Football Friday show that precedes Scoreboard Live, it's essentially 5, 6, 7 hours of football coverage that really showcase how important this game is in our state, and it's incredible. I mean, you go far and wide to see all the people that really want to hear and talk about high school football, and we've got some really good talent in the state, so why not showcase it and make what it is, a game, fun to watch?
Well, football talent, broadcasting talent, we never seem to run out of it because people keep moving here too, as well. So I know they work you very hard. You'll go do a game on a Thursday night and do the on-field post-game and then the little wrap-up, and then you'll do another one on Friday. What was the longest you've had to travel in 1 week during the show?
Oh gosh. I feel like nowadays with travel, it is a little easy to get on a plane and kind of go to the next place. But I can say that I've been as far north as Canadian, and of course as south as, let's say, Corpus Christi. I mean,
that would have to be your longest journey.
It's end to end. It really is. But what's cool too is we go the other way to El Paso, to Texarkana, and every state in every school, or excuse me, every town in between is just as amazing as the next. And honestly, we've been sharing some fun stories about all the little high school road trips that we go on just to have the fun we do, and honestly, they're all so memorable.
Yeah, and I really like the local flavor. You'll go to the special hangout in this town, or whatever they do in the intersection in the middle of town as a tradition, and they've been doing it for 50 years. It's really awesome. So we're talking with Sarah Merrifield of High School Scoreboard Live, and I got to get used to saying Bally Southwest, not Fox Sports Southwest anymore. But Rick Renner, I worked in TV 18 and a half years. And you know how it is when a television station gets an opening. They advertise it, in come all the tapes. And my general manager said, I don't have time to look at all these tapes. I want you to look at this stack of 50 or so tapes and just cut it down to 10. So he had me looking at these tapes. And I saw Rick Renner, and I haven't forgotten him. And I think it's fantastic that Rick gets to be in a place where he can be him. Because some of these places you go, they make you cut your hair, they won't let you dress crazy, they tell you to stop saying certain stuff. But what is Rick like when he's not on the air?
Rick is the big-hearted, energetic, fun ball of energy that we get to work with every single day, and he is exactly like he is on TV in person, authentic and just a great presence on television, and great person to be around, great coworker, and his hair is real, fun fact. But no, he is a journeyman too. He's done kind of everything, and it's a great opportunity for someone like myself who has really only been in the business for 7 years to learn from someone like him, because he has really seen it all and had a lot of opportunity to meet so many people. Unfortunately, he's not at the Texas Coaches Convention, but this is his favorite event because he is such a networker and a really fun presence to be around.
Sarah, I forgot to tell you, don't make any time references. It's October, okay?
The summer convention that happens every July or in the off season, Rick wasn't able to be a part of it, and he missed that event so much because he is such a networking guy, and his communication skills honestly are one of the better parts of him because he's so good at it. But no, he is exactly advertised on TV as he is in real life, and it's a joy to have him as a part of our team.
I could match him corny reference for corny reference, though. I guarantee you. Yeah, I have more time than he does when I do a 3-hour football game, so I can just kind of wait until the opportunity comes along.
Yeah, the one we give him a hard time for is "You to Manville," because we've heard that over 1 million times.
I might even submit a few. I'll send them to him. So, Sarah Merrifield, thanks very much for being with us on our halftime program, and also thank you and the rest of the staff for not wearing masks anymore.
I can't wait to be back out there on the football field.
No, you've been doing it for several weeks now, remember?
It's so exciting to be back out on the football field and have a sense of normalcy this season. Man, oh man, we definitely missed it.
All right, plausibly live from a football game near you, VypeFortBend.com. We'll be back. Thank you, Sarah. We shall return.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
Absolutely awesome. Let me turn myself up here. That was the absolutely awesome Clements Rangers marching band, and the fans certainly showing their appreciation. VypeFortBend.com broadcasts of Fort Bend County High School sports are brought to you by Xfinity, the future of awesome. By First Tire and Automotive. Make sure your vehicles are in shape for the fall. First Tire and Automotive has 4 great locations, including First Colony. All of them open Monday through Saturday. For the best prices on tires, go to firsttireandauto.com. By Nick's Italian Restaurant on FM 1464 in Sugar Land, just a few hundred feet north of Austin High School. At Nick's Italian Restaurant, their family gets bigger every time you stop by. By Archer Volkswagen on the southbound side of Highway 59, just inside the Sam Houston Tollway. Open since 1956 and ready to serve you. You will feel like family at Archer Volkswagen. By the Needville Insurance Agency. Bradley Stavanaugh and his team are your hometown trusted agents. Sure, Flo is funny and the gecko is cute, but they won't have the best rate for you, and you won't find the best rate in your mailbox either. You need to find it with Needville Insurance Agency. But even though Needville's a really nice place to go to, you don't have to go to Needville. Just call 979-793-7411, or you can visit needvilleinsurance.com. They will take care of everything, and you won't have to go anywhere if you don't care to. So, just remember, Bradley Stavanaugh and Needville Insurance Agency, your hometown trusted agents. And Office Depot in Sugar Land, Southwest Freeway at Williams Trace, taking care of business every day, so VypeFortBend.com can bring you Fort Bend County sports every week. We'll be right back.
And 2 more games here on Saturday. Live broadcast is brought to you by Xfinity, Nick's Italian Restaurant, Archer Volkswagen, First Tire Automotive, Needville Insurance Agency, and Office Depot on Williams Trace. VypeFortBend.com, your broadcast home for Fort Bend County sports. Now.
We see all you do to get work done, whether it's keeping your office clean or redesigning your space for 3 or 300. Our business is to keep business going. Buy online and pick up in store, or get free next business day shipping at Office Depot, Office Max, and OfficeDepot.com.
All right, we are back and ready to play football, and, well, you know, sometimes just to be silly, when a game is tied, I'll say this game is even closer than the score indicates, which of course is kind of, well, it is silly. But we got a 14-14 tie as the Elkins Knights, desperate for a win, are holding their own just fine against the Clements Rangers. In fact, they probably believe that if not for a couple of bad breaks and them failing to capitalize on all of the 3 turnovers they got from the Rangers, plus a bad call in the final minute or so of the first half. Well, there is Timothy Kroon banging away at the football, and he drives it all the way through the back of the end zone. And so the Elkins Knights will get the football first.
On the 25, first down Knights.
They'll take it at their 25 on that touchback. So don't forget to be with us tomorrow night as we're going to have Ridge Point against Dulles. Ridge Point leading District 26A, and then 2 games on Saturday. We'll remind you about those later. And the first play of the second half is a straight-ahead run by the big, heavy back. It is Jacoby Height carrying for the Knights, and he is stoned for no gain. Fannin Cross on the tackle for the Rangers. Also getting his head in there, Tosan Okopi. Second down and 10. Which team made the better halftime adjustments? Which team has any kind of psychological edge? Which team can shake off the mistakes that kept the first half close? We shall see. Pistol formation, Isaiah Smith tossing it on an end around. Here is Greg Green. He's hit in the backfield, and Matt McGinnis throws him down like a wet rag, and he gets flagged. I think they're going to get him for a horse collar tackle. And Curtis Payne, the referee, indicates it is grabbing the face mask. Grabbing the face mask. It looked to me like what happened on that play was it looked like McGinnis kind of grabbed him by the shirt collar and threw him down. I didn't think he grabbed the front part of his helmet or any of the apparatus in the front. So that moves the ball out to the 40-yard line. First down and 10 for the Elkins Knights. We've played 1 minute of the second half. Smith gives it to Christian Palouse around the left side. Now the big man turns it up and picks up 4, and a flag comes in at the end of the play. And it is Bohovic who is clapping his hands together. He also made the tackle, but I think he suspects, holding against the Elkins Knights. So that'll nullify their first down gain of 4 yards. That Saturday doubleheader starts with Kempner against Terry. Kicks off at 11, but we'll have the countdown to kickoff show at 10:45. You'll meet the very impressive new volleyball coach for the Kempner Cougars during that countdown to kickoff show. She's Rachel Kessler. You might even meet the new Kempner principal. And then our 6 o'clock game is Travis against Bush. Countdown to kickoff show, and that one comes your way at 5:45 on VypeFortBend.com, where it's always free to listen live or listen later on the podcast. First down and 20 after another penalty against the Knights, and Greg Green dropped the football as he was trying to make a toe tap catch by the sideline. Correction, I said there was an additional penalty. No, it was just the 10-yard penalty for holding against the Knights. And after that incomplete pass, it is now second down and 20 yards to go. Elkins has been a playoff team. They had great teams when Jonathan Giles was their quarterback. Isaiah Smith in the pistol turns around and hands it off. There goes Height. Up the middle, got back to 10 yards on the penalty plus 3 more, and it's going to set up a 3rd and 7. And also, sorry, I was thinking about several things and I forgot which thing I was talking about. Oh yeah, now I forgot it again. I was distracted by my fine colleague Randy Fry, who is our producer, and he sent me a nice text. Thank you for what you said, Randy. But now I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, I was going to say that last year Elkins was a playoff team, but they had to forfeit their first-round playoff game against Katy because of COVID cases. And, you know, Coach Brantley told me in an interview very frankly and candidly that it's probably just as well. Katy was unbeatable, and of course, the Tigers became the Division II Class 6A champions. We got a timeout. We'll take a break and be back. It is 14-14. Elkins facing a 3rd and 7 when we come back.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstironauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstironauto.com.
All right, here we go. The Elkins Knights break up their huddle over by head coach Dennis Brantley near the far sideline. Also involved there, Leroy Truitt, their assistant head coach and offensive coordinator. 3rd down and 7. Out of the spread, Isaiah Smith, clean pocket. Moves to his right, looking down the field. Safety valve, Greg Green slips and falls down after he makes the catch. He might have been able to turn up the sideline and perhaps gain first down yardage. So it's a gain of only a yard, so it's 4th down and 6. And it'll be Jackson Hart, who's a pretty good athlete. Just remember, when he goes back in punt formation, he might have license to just pull the ball down and run. Patrick Smith, of course, in deep safety for Clements, standing at his own 26. We played 3 minutes of the 3rd quarter. We are still tied 14-all, Elkins and Clements. High snap. Hart has to go back and get it. Fields it on a hop. Does get the punt away. A miraculous job on his part. And the ball rolls inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Jackson Hart. Wow, what a play. And the Clements player, one of them might have touched the football. One of the Elkins Knights players was trying to lobby for such a call, because if the ball is touched near the 40-yard line, if it's touched at all, then by the team that is covering the punt, and that's where it is. But the officials review. They talked it over and they ruled correctly that Elkins did not touch the football shy of the 28-yard line. So that's where the Rangers have it. Gunnar Chenier in at quarterback, hands off to J.R. Morellis, runs left, finds no room whatsoever, and he's dropped for a 3-yard loss. Dexter Jackson and Avion Stewart right there making the play. I saw Trey Sissom, head coach of the Travis Tigers, up here on the upper concourse of Hall Stadium. His Tigers undefeated in district, but trailing Ridgepoint by half a game because the Tigers have played 1 fewer game in district play than Ridgepoint has, and they'll play each other in the final week of the season. Chenier throws over to the right side off the chest of Patrick Smith. He looked like he had plans to take the football somewhere, but you know, you got to catch it first. Unusual day for Fort Bend County students. Fort Bend ISD was off. I was off, but I don't teach in Fort Bend ISD. Chenier in a pistol formation with Morellis behind him. We have seen Dimas Kasuma tonight, running back for the Clements Rangers. He's got a fairly small number of carries. 3rd down and 13 for the Rangers. Chenier stands strong in the pocket, fires it deep, near sideline. Patrick Smith cannot chase it down. He was very well covered, double covered in fact. Luke Cray Thomas was there, and the other one was Sean Thompson. And Sean Thompson, he's a sophomore defensive back, and also Braden Thompson, same thing, sophomore defensive back. Xfinity is the future of awesome, and we think Sean Thompson and Braden Thompson have an awesome future. Lyle Link on to punt it away for Clements on 4th and 13. Elkins going to come after him, but he does get it away clean. Greg Green backs up to his 29. Now he's coming up the field between the hash marks. Moves to his left, breaks a couple of tackles. Look out, 45 and blasted. But he hangs on to the football, and that's a good place to start. It's a 16-yard punt return, but hold on. Penalty flag down, and you know what that usually means. 14 all, Clements and Elkins. This is because of the way Clements has played so well during the year. Only one loss. It was to Ridge Point. This is a game that, based on their performance so far, that they should win. But the Elkins Knights are giving them everything they want and more. So the spot foul for an illegal block in the back moves the football to the 25-yard line. We'll give you some scores when we get a chance. 1st and 10 for the Knights. And Smith hands it off, running over to the right side. This is a big gain for the Elkins Knights and a first down at the 43-yard line. And it's Matthew McGill, who already has a touchdown this evening. Chanelak made the tackle for these Clements Rangers, but not before it's a first down. That's a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. And there goes McGill running left, trying to get past the pursuit, but he's hit and dropped for no gain. Beautiful sideline to sideline pursuit. Ferris Rafai. They do give him a yard, and it's 2nd down and 9.
Brings up 2nd down.
Elkins moving from left to right here in the second half. The ball on the left hash mark. Smith with a hand signal, now hands it off. There goes McGill. He goes right, then left, then right again, and that time he gets a decent gain, 4, maybe 5 yards, and he was hit from behind by Avery Clark. Basically pushed him from behind, took advantage of McGill's momentum, and he dropped. And that sets up a 3rd down and 5. Caden Schmidt in the game as a wide receiver for the Elkins Knights. Money being thrown around here at Hall Stadium. 3rd down and 5. Smith with 3 on the play clock. They get the ball snapped. He rolls out to his left. Throws far sideline. Jackson Hart, did he make a great toe tap catch? No, he did not. His toe was on the boundary. Great effort by Jackson Hart. He high pointed the football and kept that leg behind him, tried to keep the foot in bounds, but he couldn't do it. And now we have a 4th down and 5, and I think maybe the Knights are going to go for it. Nope, now they send the punting unit on. Jackson Hart, after making a nearly miraculous catch to convert on 3rd down, will go back in punt formation. Here's Patrick Smith, hoping that he can take one to the house and break this tie, 14 all. But a timeout is called, and we'll take it with him. This is VypeFortBend.com, your broadcast home for Fort Bend County sports.
Hi, this is Mariela
and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
Well, that timeout was not the usual kind of timeout called by one of the teams. And Jackson Hart really did a good job. He kind of hesitated because there was no rush. He allowed his punt coverage team to get down there. And then he kind of kicked a little bit of a low line drive, and Patrick Smith couldn't do anything with it. 32-yard punt with no return, and the Rangers take over at the 21-yard line. 5:35 to go in quarter number 3. And there is Kasuma back in the game and getting another carry, getting 9, getting 10, a first down. And he keeps on pushing the pile. The whistle blows, and Clements fans are thinking that maybe, they should not have blown the whistle so soon. So they're going to spot it back at the 31, but if they spotted the ball where it was when the scrum stopped moving, then it would have been about a 15-yard pickup. But give Demas Kasuma 12 yards. Gunnar Chenier handing off. He's in there in relief of Micah Darnell, and he gives it to J.R. Morellis, who only picks up 2 on the play.
Brings up second down.
And it looks like Clements is kind of playing with a little bit quicker tempo here, less time between snaps. But as soon as I say that, Chenier kind of looked like he was ready to take the spread formation snap, and then he looked over at the sideline. 2nd and 8. There goes Kasuma straight up the middle, finding daylight where a lot of blacks just can't find it. But he carries for 10 yards and a first down. That's a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. 3 plays and 2 first downs for the Rangers. This third quarter is going pretty quickly. We're at 4 minutes. Chenier, there's a toss to the right. There goes Kasuma, turns it up inside the numbers. Look at him go. 30, 40. I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong number, but he's inside the 30 to the 27. I realized that I said 30 before 40, and I should have said 40-30. But anyway, there's a flag down. That should be on me. But it's going to wipe out a huge gain for Demas Kasuma and the Rangers. And it's because of holding, as referee Curtis Payne says. So the Rangers have been executing very well until that play when they got caught holding. But it's not that bad of a call because it's a spot foul. And if they walk it off 10 yards behind where it was committed, the ball is now at the 50. So it's still first down for the Rangers, and it's 1st and 3. Kasuma again, up the middle he goes, slamming into a tackler and running over that tackler and taking the ball to the 43. And he ran over Deron Smith, which is not easy to do. And that gets them a first down at the 43 of Clements, as the Rangers are driving it from right to left here in the third quarter. They're wearing their navy blue home jersey tops with accents of white and Columbia blue. The navy blue helmets with the C on the side, either side, and the white pants. This is Chenier's drive for the Rangers, and he sends Patrick Smith in motion. And another handoff. There goes Kasuma running effectively, and he picks up 7, but a flag comes in the wake of the play. Correction, they didn't run Kasuma. That was Morellis. Kasuma is still out there, but it'll wipe out that 7-yard gain for J.R. Morellis. Now that's going to set up a first down and 22. Chenier. He looked like he was about to take the snap, and then he turned to the sideline. Tall sophomore steps up, might be changing the play. Clock keeps ticking down. Play clock at 7. Now they get it snapped. Quick throw to the sideline, and he's got Marcus Darnell. Catch made, and he's out at the 45-yard lines. Wrestled out of 45-yard line, wrestled out of bounds. It is Oswaldo Renfigo and Braden Thompson making the play. Sorry about that noise. I had to move it away from, they have a rule for no loitering on the upper concourse of the stadium here at Hall. And so you start learning very personal things about preteens and middle schoolers. And we don't want you to hear that. We want you to hear the roar of the crowd. And on 2nd down and 12, there is a false start penalty on the Clements Rangers. And the clock is down to 1:53 left in the third quarter. This has been a fast-moving quarter despite a lot of penalties here in the last couple of minutes. 3 receivers on the left, 2 on the right for sophomore quarterback Gunnar Chenier. In a 14-14 game, some press coverage by the Elkins defensive backs. See, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Learning about the personal lives of the very young. That's why I moved the microphone. Chenier to Patrick Smith in traffic. Cuts back toward the middle. There he goes. Makes a move near the 40. Still going. 30, 25, 21 men to beat. And he's brought down at the 5-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Clements Rangers. And it would have been a touchdown if not for Andre Pittman. Andre Pittman saving a touchdown, but oh no. There's a flag on the play. And it's a chop block on the Rangers. Both coaches have reasons to be frustrated, and now here's another problem for the Elkins Knights. I think that's Deron Smith, who is down on his hands and knees. So we have a penalty to assess, and we have an injury, and we'll take a break on VypeFortBend.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Hello fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance. We know Fort Bend County. I'm a 4th generation resident of Fort Bend. I'm your local, hometown, trusted agent. With over 30 carriers and 9 auto insurance carriers, we shop the insurance for you. We know insurance is hard. We know it's complicated. We make it easy for you. We have Spanish speakers here available for you. Call us at 979-793-7411 or NeedvilleInsurance.com. Once again, call us 979-793-7411.
We take care of you, so you can take care of business. Office Depot Office Max. Taking care of business.
It was an illegal chop block on the Rangers. I'm not sure who the guilty party was, but I'm going to presume that Deron Smith was the one who was chop blocked, and he did make it off the field on his own. It looks like he might be able to be back. But it's 2nd and 23 for the Rangers. Chenier with 3 receivers on the left side, throws it in the direction of Patrick Smith, and it's picked off by the Knights. The Knights get an interception, and it's Luke Cray Thomas running it back to the 45 of Clements. Patrick Smith had not turned around to look back for the football, but hold on, there's a flag on the play. Is this going to be something against the Knights that nullifies an interception? Personal foul, roughing the passer against the Knights, and the interception will not count. I'm not sure, folks. I try to keep as best that I can. I keep notes. Since I'm a one-man gang, I can't follow everything. But I think we've had 5 consecutive plays with the penalty by one team or another. And since it was 2nd down and 23, of course, there was an interception. But the Elkins Knights not only don't get to keep that interception, they don't get to keep the football. It bails out the Rangers. It's an automatic first down on the roughing the passer, and they have it at the 43 of Elkins. Chenier hands to Kasuma, hesitates as he gets to the middle of the line, and he is thrown back hard. And there's our man, Torian Crawford. What a great player he is. He's awesome. He and Christian Palouse, good friends, decided to meet at the running back, and they threw him down like a sack of rocks, which is not easy to do. Demas Kasuma, you know, I've learned a new phrase. You know, sometimes when you're a sportscaster, you can learn new phrases that kind of make you sound smart. Something kind of, I don't know, like it's more scientific when you're describing football. And Bijan Robinson of the Texas Longhorns has contact balance. That's what he has. And so does Kasuma. Now a quick pass into the near flat, and a first down for the Rangers. The first catch of the game by Jalen Robinson.
Pass complete to number 84, Robinson.
I might have spoken too soon. I thought that was enough yardage to move the sticks, but it was a gain of 9 instead of a gain of 10. And it's 3rd and 1 for the Rangers. I'll bet they're in 4-down territory. And that's the end of the quarter. Wow, that was fast. We'll be back with the thrilling final 12 minutes. We're still tied at 14. Roger Smith with you on VypeFortBend.com. Clements and Elkins. We'll be back.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstironauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstironauto.com.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
All right, well, the third quarter was almost Shakespearean in that it was a lot of sound and fury, signifying nothing. The score did not change. It's still 14-14. As on the first play of the fourth quarter, Demas Kasuma runs for 2 yards and picks up a first down for the Rangers. Kasuma's gotten most of the carries on this drive, but this drive is a very long one because both teams have been killing themselves with penalties. 1st and 10 for the Rangers from the 33 of the Elkins Knights. Chenier, quick throw to the right side. Patrick Smith has it, and he's hit immediately after he gained 1 yard, and that's going to be all for him.
Pass complete to number 7.
Israel Cheers.
Brought down by number 15, Thompson.
And that is yet another Nick's Italian Restaurant family connection, as Israel Cheers is the little brother of Caleb Cheers, who was an outstanding basketball player for the Knights under their great head coach, I would even say legendary head coach, Albert Thomas. It's only a 2-yard pickup for Patrick Smith. As we're more than a minute into this fourth quarter, Chenier takes the snap, hands to Kasuma. Nice blocking at the point of attack, and he carries it forward for 6 yards down to the 25-yard line. There were Elkins defenders trying to just back up and get their feet under them. Andre Pittman makes the tackle, and there's a Knight down on the field. There's one Ranger down on the field, an Elkins Knight on his back on the field. It's Christian Palouse, and Kasuma was down to a knee, and he's holding his right elbow. So we'll take a moment while they check out Christian Palouse, who it appears has a cramp. We'll be back on VypeFortBend.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
We see all you do to get work done, whether it's keeping your office clean or redesigning your space for 3 or 300. Our business is to keep business going. Buy online and pick up in store, or get free next business day shipping at Office Depot, Office Max, and OfficeDepot.com.
Interested in Vype Campus? Vype Campus brings our popular citywide media days right to your doorstep. As a Vype Campus client, we will work with you to help you take advantage of our unique campus model to build a unique experience for your school. From media day photo shoots of all your athletes to game day coverage, broadcasts and live streams, video and digital content, hype videos, the Vype U program, same-day graphics, and of course your very own campus magazine, Vype Campus is truly whatever you want it.
Sorry, we got to bail on that commercial break. 3rd down and 2 for the Clements Rangers in a 14-14 game, early 4th quarter. And did the Elkins Knights jump? They didn't make contact. I'm kind of surprised that they blew the whistle. But now it's a false start on the Rangers. The Knights were drawn off. So instead of 3rd and 2, it's 3rd and 7. The plot thickens. I was going to give you some scores a while back, and I never got around to it. I'll give you some during the next break. So the Rangers break the huddle. They need to get to the 23 of Elkins to prolong this drive. Chenier looks short. Now he's pressured, cannot find anyone, and Andre Pittman tackles him, sacks him for a loss of 4. Back to the 35-yard line. And now, because you have such a good field goal kicker in Lyle Link, could the Rangers possibly try a 52-yard field goal? Looks like they're talking about it. But I believe what they've decided to do is just go for it on 4th and 12. Clock ticking, and will be under 9.5 minutes to go. In regulation time. I'm going to say in regulation time because, we're tied. Could go to overtime. All right, so 9:24 to go, and I believe the Rangers have called the timeout. They only have one left if the scoreboard is correct. We'll step aside and be back. No, I'm not going to step aside. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is give you some scores. I promise you that. Okay, so games that are going on right now. Stratford beating up on Spring Woods. 49-0 is the score in that one. The Alvin Yellow Jackets. I don't think much was expected of them before the year started, but Alvin's playing very respectable football, and they lead the A-Leaf Hastings Bears 15-0 at the half. Just scanning on down. The George Ranch Longhorns are leading the Fort Bend Austin Bulldogs 14-7 at the half. Coach Mike Arabonlo having a season that is just as frustrating as Dennis Brantley and the Elkins Knights have had. We have a final score here as the Dobie Longhorns of Pasadena beat up on the Pasadena Eagles 70-0, which is very similar to the score by which the Clements Rangers beat those Pasadena Eagles. Okay, now back to live action. 4th down and 12. Gunnar Chenier, pistol formation. J.R. Morellis behind him. Sends Morellis in motion. He drops back, and he throws to the far sideline. Putting it up there, and a diving catch. Patrick Smith caught it inside the 5. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 2. He just ran up the hash marks, and Chenier laid it out there for him. Wow, what an amazing play. He shifted into a gear that most players just don't have. Now, pistol formation, they set him at the 3. There goes Morellis, bouncing outside, off a tackler and into the end zone. What a quick strike by the Clements Rangers. A drive that was full of penalties by both teams. And taking it in for the touchdown was Mireles. Matthew McGill made an attempt at a tackle for the Knights, but it was to no avail. And here we go with Allison Wang on the field to try the extra point and make it 21-14. Chenier will hold. Low snap. Chenier gets it down. Wang gets it through the uprights. And the Rangers lead it by a score of 21-14. We'll be back on VypeFortBend.com.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you? At your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
I just didn't have enough scores to give you before, so what I've done is I've reset my high school scoreboard live app, not to a 25-mile radius, but to a 50-mile radius, so I can tell you that the Langham Creek Lobos, with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, lead Cy Woods by a score of 16-10. Good one going there. Cy Creek 41-7. Late third quarter against Cy Ridge. The Spring Lions 35, Eisenhower nothing. That is a halftime score. North Shore 41-0 at halftime over the Kingwood Mustangs. Now there is a deep kickoff, and it goes all the way to the goal line, but the Elkins Knights are going to bring it out, and Dexter Jackson slips at the 9-yard line and goes down right there. I think Dexter realized that his feet were on the goal line, and, you know, he just felt like he had to bring it out. And he tried to make a hard cut. They do give him progress to the 10, but that is a tough place to start if you're the Elkins Knights. Another score or two for you. The LaPorte Bulldogs 17-6 at halftime over Baytown Sterling. The number 8 ranked Westfield Mustangs 37-0 over the Nimitz Cougars. And back to action. 1st and 10 from the 10. And it is Smith rolling out to his right, throwing from his end zone. It's picked off. Rangers have picked it off and into the end zone for a touchdown. It's a spike of the football. Xander Salazar? Is that who brought it back? No, I'm sorry, it's not him. It's Titan Chanelak. Titan Chanelak with a pick six. And for the first time tonight, it's a 2-score game. And if you're Elkins, you're saying to yourself, Lemony Snickets, what a series of unfortunate events. So you give up the long pass on 3rd and long. Patrick Smith catches it at the 3-yard line, a diving effort. And on the very next play, J.R. Mireles scores. Then you slip on the kickoff return and you have it at your 10. And on the first play, there's a pass near the sideline, and Titan Chanelak picks it off and takes it to the house. And it's 27-14. Allison Wang now on the field to try the extra point. She's been good on 3 straight. And it won't be 4 because the ball goes through Chenier's hands, and it's going to be a scoop and score. Dexter Jackson came through and picked it up. He's going to take it the rest of the way. This will be 2 points for the Knights. Well, that'll make Dexter feel better about that kickoff return gone wrong. So instead of 28-14 Clements, it's 27-16 Clements. And that could be huge for strategy, and it's an 11-point game. So the Knights could get a field goal and a touchdown and a 2-pointer and tie this thing up, and we might still be on track for overtime. I hope we are. I don't have to work tomorrow. We'll be back. 8:54 to go on VypeFortBend.com.
Interested in Vype Campus? Vype Campus brings our popular citywide media days right to your doorstep. As a Vype Campus client, we will work with you to help you take advantage of our unique campus model to build a unique experience for your school. From Media Day photo shoots of all your athletes to game day coverage, broadcasts and live streams, video and digital content, hype videos, the Vype U program, same-day graphics, and of course your very own campus magazine, Vype Campus is truly whatever you want it to be. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out how to join Vype Campus today.
Okay, the Rangers have to kick off to the Knights, even though the Knights just got 2 points. On the scoop and score on the snap that went through the hands of the holder, Gunnar Chenier, and it came through there with a lot of hot sauce on it. It went a good 10, 12 yards behind the spot where Chenier was going to put the ball down for Allison Wang. Dexter Jackson came through clean, had a head of steam, scooped it up, and ran it all the way back to the north end zone for 2 points. So Clements just gave up 2 points and has to kick off from their 25-yard line because of, and I'll tell you in a minute while they're kicking off from their 25, it's a high kick, and it is Green from the 32. He gets to the 40, still going, makes a move, gets to the 42 before he's pushed back by the Rangers. Dominic Golemi made the special teams tackle. No flags on the kickoff return. How about that? Okay, so after his pick six, Titan Channelack spiked the football, and you're going to get flagged for that if you spike the football in high school football. In fact, you'd get flagged if you did it in college football as well. But it's a clean kickoff return, and it's Elkins football, trailing by 11. They still have plenty of time, 8:47 to go. And I wonder if they might have Isaiah Smith throw the football down the field a little bit. Fake to Christian Palouse. Now running to his left is Isaiah Smith, and he stumbled a little bit. Short gain. Matt McGinnis making sure it doesn't go far. 2nd down and 9. 8.5 minutes to play. The Knights, according to the scoreboard, have 2 timeouts left. They are taking quite a bit of time between plays. They need at least a touchdown, a 2-pointer, and a field goal, but I'm sure 2 touchdowns would suit them just fine. On 2nd down and 9, Smith rolling to his right. Here comes a pass rush, and he throws near the sideline intended for Jackson Hart, throws it high, and it's just as well, because if that had been on target, I think Andrew Bohovich could have either broken it up or picked it off. The incomplete pass stops the clock with 8:02 to go. Neither team scored in the third quarter after battling to a 14-14 tie at halftime. The Rangers have had 2 touchdowns, but Elkins has gotten a scoop and score on a failed conversion attempt by the Rangers. Pistol formation. Smith going to option to the right, and he flips it back there to McGill, who is in jail and dropped in the backfield. It is Avery Clark who's got a touchdown on offense tonight, and he gets a huge tackle for loss, a loss of 6 yards. And this is going to be a tough ask. By the way, I'm sorry I said that, actually. The Elkins Knights call timeout, and you know there are too many people, and I think you, especially you people from Clements, will appreciate what I'm about to say because you have such a wonderful academic reputation. There are a lot of people taking verbs and turning them into nouns, like ask. It's a big ask, and it's such a big ask that it's going to be a punt. 4th and 14. They're not going for it. And now a whistle before the snap to Jackson Hart, and what's this all about? I don't think I see a flag. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. I didn't see the flag, but there is a flag. And evidently a false start by the Elkins Knights before they get the punt snap underway. So now this makes it a 4th and 19 situation, just in case you're wondering, thinking maybe Jackson Hart might just grab the ball and run for his life. I doubt it very seriously. High snap, he jumps up to get it. He gets a pretty good punt off, and Patrick Smith is going to watch this thing roll, and it is going to roll a long, long way. My goodness. It goes to the 8-yard line. That is a 62-yard punt by Jackson Hart. And with 6:57 on the clock, this is opportunity knocking. Yeah, that's right. The Elkins Knights defense, if they can make a play in this part of the field, in fact, I think I gave 1 yard too few. It went all the way to the 7-yard line. It's a 63-yard punt with no return for Jackson Hart. And Gunnar Chenier remains the quarterback for the Clements Rangers. 2 setbacks on either side of him. Patrick Smith in motion. Chenier takes the snap. Inside handoff, and there goes Kasuma running tough. Gets across the 15 to the 16. A pickup of 8. Israel Cheers bulldogged him down. And we've got another penalty, and it's against the Rangers. It's a personal foul against the Rangers. It'll be half the distance. So the ball will be at the 3.5-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 13.5. I think maybe the reason I'm not seeing these flags is I just don't want to see them. We have seen way more than enough yellow laundry on the field. Okay, first down for the Rangers inside their 5. Got to be careful. Low snap to Chenier, and it's a give to Kasuma, but he gains a yard, maybe 2. That's it. And guess who? Torian Crawford threw him back. Like an angry old man sending back soup in a deli. It's going to be 2nd down and 13. That last play was a repeat first down. And right about the time the Rangers run the play here, we'll be seeing the halfway point of the third quarter, 27-16. Clements leading Elkins, but the Rangers backed up in their own end. Torian Crawford probably wants to rip the ball out of someone's arms. Chenier toss. There goes Kasuma. Flag on the play. And Kasuma gets to the 12, well short of the first down, and we'll check the flag. It came from our referee, Curtis Payne. We might have a substitution infraction. It's illegal procedure against the Rangers. So that'll back the ball up from the 5-yard line to the 2.5-yard line. And this has been a fiasco of penalties here in the second half, but we have drama. And that's really the most important thing. We know you're still out there. I've done more than my share of blowouts this year. And we've got a 27-16 game. The Elkins Knights down by 11, but they have an opportunity here. It is 2nd and 14 for the Rangers. Again, they've got to be careful as their quarterback, Gunnar Chenier, is standing in the end zone. Takes the snap and gets hit near the goal line. He got it out. It's not going to be a safety, but Torian Crawford blasted through and almost got himself a safety. Torian Crawford, you're an awesome football player, young man. It's been a year to forget thus far for the Elkins Knights, but what football Torian Crawford has played. That's another tackle for loss. And I'm going to say that it is 3rd down and 16 to go for the Rangers, and the ball is at their own 2-yard line. The Knights are probably thinking, you know what, they don't want to throw it out of their end zone. They want to run the football. Will they run the football here? Sophomore quarterback Chenier. And a whistle before the snap, and is it a timeout or is it a flag? It's a timeout taken by the Rangers. The coaches along their bench called it. We'll step aside, and we'll be back. 3rd and 16 yet to come.
Hi, this is Mariela and Melina coming to you from Nick's Italian Restaurant, where you can come and try one of our house specialties, the Nick's Shrimp, or one of our chicken pistachios. Not in the mood for food, you can also try one of our savory desserts like our homemade tiramisu or cannoli.
We're located on FM 1464, just north of Austin High School.
Can't dine in? You can call ahead at 346-401-1546 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can hit us on one of the major delivery platforms, Uber, Grubhub, or DoorDash.
We look forward to seeing you here at Nick's Italian Restaurant, where our family gets bigger every time you stop by.
All right, I'm going to say that even though there's an 11-point spread in this game right now, Clements ahead 27-16, I think that but for both teams, this second half has been one long Maylocks moment. And the white knuckle game continues with 4:38 to go. Clements backed up right near its own goal line. Chenier takes the handoff, low snap. And it's Kasuma has a hard time getting out of the end zone. He does manage to make a move and slither through to the 4-yard line. But he was in the end zone, and there were defenders who almost brought him down. And now it is time for the Rangers to punt. And the Knights have taken a timeout to conserve time, and according to the scoreboard, that is their second timeout. One more to go. We'll step aside. This is VypeFortBend.com.
Are you ready?
Ready for anything. For what life throws at you, at your kids.
Are they ready to study, research, write papers?
To do all the amazing things they don't even know they're capable of yet.
Internet Essentials from Comcast brings affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. Now available to low-income households eligible for public assistance programs like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, SNAP, housing assistance, and others. Visit InternetEssentials.com to apply. No credit check, contract, or installation fee. Taxes, extra restrictions apply.
Okay, so the Knights just called that timeout as we have 4th and 13 coming. The Rangers send out Lyle Link and the punting unit. And so the Knights are probably thinking, first of all, what tactic do we want to use to maybe get through and get a punt block here? Greg Green is ready to return it. Lyle Link is standing about 2 yards from the end line. It's a high snap, and it's through his hands and through the back of the end zone. The Knights get a safety. They get 2 points to make it 27-18. And they're going to get the football back. And it was one of those snaps where it was high. Link did get his hands on it, but it came to him pretty hot, so I don't think you can blame Lyle Link for that. And the Maylocks moment continues. We'll step aside and be back. It's VypeFortBend.com. We got 4 minutes and 21 seconds of drama coming at you.
First Iron Automotive is passing out the treats for your vehicles the entire month of October. $25 off select AC Delco batteries, $50 off brake pad replacement, and $75 off 4 tires. Head to the website firstironauto.com and claim your savings. You don't even have to wear a costume to get these Halloween treats all month long. First Iron Automotive, a proud sponsor of Fort Bend Vype Sports. Make your appointments today at any of the 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. All 4 stores open on Saturday. firstironauto.com.
Okay, Timothy Kroon is going to kick off, and he will kick off a tee. Sometimes kickers choose to punt from the 20 after a safety, but here he comes. I think he's going to kick it as far as he can. And that's a pretty strong kick, and it comes down to Israel Cheers up the right hash marks, and a flag is down as he gets to the 50 and keeps going. Far sideline and belted. Nick Nemry knocked him down out of bounds, but what's that flag going to be for? Probably against the Knights. So now let's reset everything. They are down by 9 after 2 consecutive safeties. Actually, that's not right. A safety that came after a scoop and score on a failed 2-point try. And now it looks like there is no penalty that's going to be assessed. So that kickoff return by Cheers is going to count. How about that? It is Knights football at the 40-yard line of Clements. Height, the running back behind Isaiah Smith. Now he moves to the right of Isaiah Smith. Fake handoff, throws, got Greg Green on a slant. 30-yard line, moving outside the numbers on the far side, heading for the sideline, and Patrick Smith shoves him out of bounds after a pickup of 13. It's a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. You can feel the uneasiness on the Clements side here. Their fabulous season doesn't need another loss on it. Isaiah Smith running right. He's got 6 yards, maybe 7. McGill makes the tackle, forcing him, but what we've seen as part of the game plan, Isaiah Smith has carried the football more than any other player on the Knights offense. And it makes perfect sense. The kid has wheels. Second down and a long 3. Now he looks left, throws right, far corner, end zone, incomplete. And a flag goes down. Greg Green drew a defensive pass interference call. And I believe it's Chanelak over there that got flagged. And yeah, it is Chanelak who gets called for it. I don't know that that's a justified call. Just kind of ordinary contact, and I think the Rangers coaches would be inclined to say the ball wasn't catchable anyway. But that moves it to the 7-yard line. First and goal for these Elkins Knights. Full house backfield. There goes Smith trying to get around the edge on the right side, diving for the end zone. Did he get in? No, he did not. He's down just inside the 1-yard line. Second and goal from right there. The clock is at 3:24 and ticking. The Knights have one more timeout, but I'm sure they don't want to use it here. They've got the momentum in this ball game. McGill to the right of Smith. I'll bet Smith's going to carry it. Yes, he does. There he goes, going for the pylon, diving. Did he get in? No, he stepped out. In fact, I think he might have lost half a yard. And that was Avery Clark with great pursuit, ran him down. All right, so out of bounds is where that play ended up. So that stops the clock at 3:05. Clements leading Elkins 27-18. Now they bring in the heavy artillery. Full house backfield. And Smith takes the snap, hands it off to Palouse, pounds the middle, and gets in. Touchdown. It's a touchdown for the Knights to get them within 27-24. And now they will bring out the kicking unit and try to cut it to a 2-point game with 3:01 left in the game. Oh my goodness. And there's not a lot of pressure here on Oswaldo Renfigo, because if he misses this extra point, well, never mind. He does need to make it, and he does. Because that cuts it from a 3-point deficit to a 2-point deficit. Now a field goal would win it for the Knights. 3:01 to go. We'll be back after this from Archer Volkswagen.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
VypeFortBend.com broadcasts of Fort Bend County High School sports are brought to you by Xfinity, the future of awesome. By First Tire and Automotive, make sure your vehicles are in shape for the fall. First Tyrant Automotive has 4 great locations, including First Colony. All of them open Monday through Saturday for the best prices on tires. Go to FirstTyrantAuto.com. By Nick's Italian Restaurant on FM 1464 in Sugar Land, just a few hundred feet north of Austin High School. At Nick's Italian Restaurant, their family gets bigger every time you stop by. Now Renfigo, who just made it a 2-point game with his extra point kick, boots the ball. It's a little squib down the middle, and the Rangers recover it at the 42. Good job there. Sure hands. Kenneth Robinson grabbed it and just went down. That's the safest thing to do. So now we're at, that only took 1 second off the clock. 3 minutes to go. Elkins has gotten within 2 points. It is 27-25.
42-yard line. First down.
And so the Elkins defense has played pretty well tonight, and they need to make sure, they're going to be grabbing at the football. They do want a turnover, but you've got to make sure that in grabbing for the football, you don't enable the runner to just run on down the field. There is Kasuma, and Torian Crawford grabs him, throws him down for a loss of 1. Second down and 11 from the 41 for these Clements Rangers.
21, Kasuma, your ball carrier, runs out by number 90, Crawford. Brings up second down.
If the Rangers keep running the football and don't get a first down after 3 plays, then the clock will be under a minute and a half before the Knights get the football back. Chenier has, I'm trying to remember if he's gone all the way as the quarterback here in the second half, or if we saw Micah Darnell at one point. I'm not sure. But Chenier at the controls now. He's going to throw it on 2nd and 11. He's flushed. He throws to the sideline, incomplete. It was somewhere in the vicinity of Patrick Smith, but he was under a heavy, heavy rush. Andre Pittman and Christian Palouse going after him like a pit bull on a poodle. I guess I should say like a couple of pit bulls on a poodle. Not that Chenier's a poodle, but, it was with that kind of aggression. So that's a big break for the Knights. I was thinking about the Rangers just running it for 3 plays, but the incomplete pass stops the clock with 2:10 to go. The Knights down by 2, 27-25, and they have 1 timeout left. And here we go, 3rd down and 11, empty backfield. Chenier throws, got a catch, but stoned at the 49-yard line. The pass was complete to Gabriel Moasir, his first catch of the game, but Braden Thompson dropped him immediately, and the Knights used their final timeout, and the Rangers are going to have what I presume is a punting situation, 4th and 3 at their own 49-yard line. But it also kind of begs the question, is Coach Bobby Darnell of the Rangers and are his assistants wondering, do they have enough confidence in the ability for a successful punt snap? Because the last time they did it, it went through the hands of the punter Lyle Link, high above his head and through his hands and out the back of the end zone. And if the same thing happens, even if Link just turned around and recovered the football, then the Knights, needing only a field goal to get them the winning margin, would have a fairly short field to navigate.
3-0.
By the way, I'm sure you are aware that the Astros won Game 1 of their series with the White Sox 6-1.
And the half.
That's wonderful. But it's best of 5. It's not over till it's over. And guess what? Chenier is lining up in the spread formation. They look like they don't intend to punt. It's 4th down and 3, and the Rangers appear to be going for it. Mireles in motion to the left. Chenier is going to throw, and the pass is caught! It is Micah Darnell! Marcus Darnell all the way down to the 1-yard line. They let him get open. He got past Dexter Jackson, who probably thought he was going to run a little comeback route or something, but he kept on going, and Marcus Darnell takes the Clements Rangers to the lip of the cup. And they can pound it in here and get the margin at least up to 8 points. And then Allison Wang could come on the field and bang home the extra point, and that would pretty much be that. So they went for it on 4th and 3. Now Chenier, low snap, gives to Morellis. Morellis into the end zone, touchdown. That makes it an 8-point game. 33-25. They keep running the clock, for God's sake. I'm sorry. The clock is still ticking. What? They said he didn't get in. Oh my goodness, I thought I saw a touchdown signal. I guess it was by a player, and that doesn't count. No wonder the clock is still running. Maybe Coach Darnell told Morellis to just go down, don't even score. Now there are 2 setbacks. I'm sorry, that was very unprofessional on my part. Kasuma has it. He doesn't get in either, but the Knights can't stop the clock. That may be the final play of the football game as the game clock is at 42. They will have to snap it one more time. I'm sorry, folks. I try to be more professional than I was after the play that was run, 2 snaps ago. Morellis didn't get in. It was not a touchdown, and that's why the clock kept moving. And now they're in victory formation. Chenier takes the snap, takes a knee. That's it. Still 15 seconds on the clock, but it will tick down, and the Rangers escape by the skin of their teeth. 27-25. Coach Darnell is telling his players, let's not line up at the 50 and shake hands. Let's stop at the hash marks and do that wave at your opponent and wish them well kind of thing. Well, the Knights look like they want to line up at the 50 and shake hands. Very frustrating defeat for Dennis Brantley, and his good friend Bobby Darnell goes out there, and I'm sure some very kind words of sportsmanship and friendship. Wow, folks, that was amazing. Thank you for staying with us from start to finish. VypeFortBend.com broadcasts of Fort Bend County High School sports are brought to you by Archer Volkswagen on the southbound side of 59, just inside the Sam Houston Tollway. Open since 1956 and ready to serve you. You'll feel like family at Archer Volkswagen. By the Needville Insurance Agency, Bradley Stavanaugh and his team are your hometown trusted agents. Sure, Flo's funny and the gecko's cute. We get it. But they won't have the best rate for you, and you won't find the best rate in your mailbox either. You will find it with the Needville Insurance Agency, and you don't have to go to Needville to become one of their happy customers. Call 979-793-7411. That's 979-793-7411, or visit needvilleinsurance.com. I am a customer of Bradley Stavanaugh and his team, and they are saving us money on our car insurance, and we're going to change our home insurance over to them as well. We're also brought to you by Office Depot in Sugar Land, Southwest Freeway at Williams Trace. Taking care of business every day so VypeFortBend.com can bring you Fort Bend County sports every week. By Xfinity, the future of awesome, and First Tire and Automotive. For the best prices on tires, go to FirstTireandAuto.com. They have 4 great locations in Fort Bend County. So 27-25 is our final score. The Clements Rangers escape with a victory. I think that's the right term for it. And we will be with you tomorrow night. Ridge Point against Dulles. Countdown to kickoff show at 6:45 on VypeFortBend.com. Then on Saturday, it's an 11 a.m. kickoff between Kempner and Rosenberg Terry. And our countdown to kickoff show will start at 10:45. And then the nightcap is Travis against Bush. 6 o'clock kickoff, 5:45 for the countdown to kickoff show. So for Randy Fry, Merle Bertrand, Suna Venkat, the whole Vype team, Roger Smith saying thanks for being with us. Again, our final score, 27-25. Clements defeats Elkins. Thank you, Todd Harris, the PA announcer, for telling all the people in the stadium that we do the games. And I think this was pretty exciting despite my mistakes. Good night, everybody, and we will talk to you tomorrow night for the game between Ridge Point and Dulles.